All right. Should be live already. Hello, hello. What's good, gang? It's me, everyone's favorite Marine Admiral, Admiral Orange Chicken. I'm here today because it's break week, and over at Marine headquarters here, we've run out of shit to do. So they've given me some busy work today up at headquarters. Got a little bit of a theory review. A little bit of theory review, but we'll get there in a second. Let me say hello to those in the chat. What's up? I see Johannes Wooler. He was saying he started playing Outer Wilds. That's my guy. I hope you like it so far. But yeah, guys, it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. We got break week. It's break week without a figure being broken on stream. It's a sad thing to see, I know. But don't worry, we'll be making up for it. We'll be making up for it for sure. I know some people asking for the music. We're going to be cutting the music off in like 3 minutes anyway, once we actually start watching the videos. So I figured there's no point this time. Thank you. I see everyone's complimenting the drip. Seatter says Marine jump scare. Yeah, sorry about that. You didn't expect to come to the stream and the ops would be here, huh? What's up? What's up? Break another chopper. You know what's funny? I still have a couple figures that were meant for break week and it hasn't happened yet. They're just kind of sitting there in their boxes. So yeah, guys. The world government has me keeping tabs on some of you, okay? I know some of you guys out there are dropping some serious theories, and it's a little bit dangerous for us over here at headquarters because we don't want the world to know about this shit. We don't want the world to know about the history you guys are trying to expose, all you archaeologists out there. So what I gotta do, what they did is stuck me with the busy work of watching your theories and reviewing them to make sure that there's nothing top secret that's being revealed to the public. So we got 3 very nice theories today. We got a theory from a channel that I actually did not know about until recently called Drop the Pizza. They are a One Piece channel from Japan. They made a theory recently that's been blowing up. It's been making the waves all over Twitter, all over the internet. A lot of people were requesting that I watch this theory. It's a longer one. It's like 30 minutes. But apparently this one claims to have solved a lot of the mysteries, the outstanding mysteries of the One Piece world. Very, very exciting for me. So we're going to watch that. We also got Big 333 Aztec calendar theory, which is actually, if you check the description, it's the Gorosei planets theory. It's actually going to be including the Aztec calendar element that we spoke about on the Conquerors Clash the other day. So if you were interested in that when we brought it up in the discussion, I am going to be reacting to that. I hadn't seen that yet, so I'm going to be reacting to that today. So Threeville's theory is going to come up after that. And then we got a theory from a regular of the stream, Muglatan. He made a theory about Uruj being the 10th Titanic captain for the Blackbeard Pirates. A very, very interesting idea just on paper. Sounded cool, so we're gonna pull that up at the end. And then we might watch another short one. I know Tainted Marth, you said you wanted to watch, you wanted me to check out your theory. So if we have some time at the end and the stream's not going super, super long, we'll give that a look as well. He said it was like 4 minutes. So we got those 3 theories lined up today. We're gonna do something similar to what we did last time with theory review, or what we used to do when theory review was a weekly thing. We would, at the end of the stream, we would watch all 3 theories, and then we'd vote on which one we liked the most, and then crown it the winner of theory review for the day. And then we'll give them a little JPEG of a trophy. So we got yeah, it looks like, I mean, based on the channel sizes, we actually fit the format. We have Drop Pizza's theory, which is like, that's a 400K channel. So that's like a big channel One Piece theory. And then we got Threeville's, which is around my realm, like the more middle area of One Piece YouTubers in terms of channel size. And then we got Moog, who's new to the One Piece YouTube stuff, but he's been putting out a lot of content. He's been putting the grind in. So we got the whole spectrum of theories represented here today, and we're going to go through them one by one. So without further ado, that means it is about time to get started with Theory Review. Once again, we are back with Theory Review, guys. We're going to see who's got the best theories out there, who's got the know-how, who's got the the secret sauce that they're ready to share with the world about the world government, blow our minds on some One Piece, and we're gonna all observe that today. Gonna have some live first-time reactions, theory review. All right, let's get started. So, everyone, I guess I'll get through a couple of chats real quick before we start with this. Also, I wanna say, in the past theory reviews, I usually pause the video a lot to give commentary or talk. I want to try something a little bit different. I want to try and not talk as much as I can during the course of the video playing out. And then I'm gonna kind of give my thoughts on everything at the end. Unless it's something that I think I'm gonna forget by the end of the video, I'm gonna try and let the videos play in one shot as much as possible, so that basically the idea is to let them cook. Okay, so we're gonna let them cook. We're not gonna stop them, interrupt them constantly. I want to hear the full breadth of the idea. So I see a lot of people in the chat. Moog says, I'm not going to win. My video sucks for real. Bro, don't say that. Don't say that. I heard your silky smooth voice on the video already. I know that you got some good narration coming. The idea sounds great on paper. Have some confidence, man. It seems like a good one. It seems like a good one. People are just putting emojis in the chat. I love it. I love it. I love it. Everyone like the stream. Indeed. Dak is right. Welcome, Dak. Like the stream, guys, if you enjoy theories, if you enjoy what you're seeing so far, if you enjoy my cosplay, whatever reason you may have, like the stream. It helps me out big time. And with that out of the way, let's start. I'm ready to go. So this is Drop the Pizza's theory. It's called The Ultimate Theory About One Piece Treasure. Never seen a video from Drop the Pizza before. Not sure what I'm in for. I'm not sure, what the theory's really about. So I'm going in as blind as possible with this one. So without further ado, let's get going. For anyone that wants to check out these channels or like the videos or subscribe, the links are all in the description. So you can find them all there.
この動画に字幕つけてくれって声はあまりにも多くいただいたので作りました。そしてこの話もちろん今後の動画にも絡んでくるのでね。私たちの住む地球の赤道付近には風が吹かない無風地帯があって、はい、これワンピースの世界。グランドライン付近、風が吹かないカームベルトがある。だから、こう回ってるわけですね。でも、レッドラインってあるじゃないですか。レッドラインって赤い道ですよね。だから本当はこっちが赤道なんじゃないの？この疑問が全ての始まりでした。
Okay.
ワンピース、まだまだ謎だらけなのに最終章。全部回収できますか？できない。絶対に間に合わない。一つ一つ回収は無理そう。ただ、一瞬で全てを解決する方法が一つだけあります。小田先生がこの世界に隠した秘密。ルフィたちが住むこの地球。いや、すみません。青色の星。この星自体に小田先生が大きなトリックを仕掛けていたら、実は一発で全てが回収できるんです。小田先生は作中通してナミのセリフを利用してたくさんの地理情報をばらまいています。おそらく地学、地理が小田先生の得意分野なのでしょう。この星の初期設定凝りすぎ。地軸の傾きの角度やルフィたちが行かない場所、細かいところまで見ましたが、この細かさは異常です。何もトリックがないなら、なんでこんな
I know, I'm sorry. I know I said I was not going to pause. I just want a little bit more time to look at this visual here that's from the magazine. So I'm assuming this is Oda's drawing of what the map, if you were to like spread out the map like that, that's what it looks like, right? I gotta say here, the red line does not look as straight as it appears on the typical globe.
行かない場所、細かいところまで見ましたが、この細かさは異常です。 何もトリックがないならなんでこんなに凝ってるんですか？早速ドロピザが出した答えをお伝えします。これで全てが解決できる。小田先生が隠したトリックはポールシフト。
I like the style.
ポールシフトめっちゃ簡単です。軸が動くって意味です。今軸がここにあってこう回ってるじゃないですか。
Yes.
本当は軸がここにあってこう回ってたんです。こう空白の100年にこの軸の移動が起こっていたら全ての辻褄が合うんです。
いやいや、そんなのずるいだろ。ぶっ飛びすぎ、さすがにないよ。
わかります。
Not hard to believe at
ポー
all.
ルシフト無理があるように聞こえますよね。安心してください。小田先生は小さい頃見た作品に影響されがちって話しましたよね。当時の作品でこのポールシフト結構主流なんです。例えば未来少年コナン。この作品は核兵器をはるかに超える超磁力兵器によって大地核変動が起き
In this work, a great crustal shift is caused by a supermagnetic weapon that surpasses nuclear weapons, twisting the Earth's axis and causing the 8 continents to be torn apart and submerged in the ocean.
地軸がねじ曲がり8つの大陸はことごとく引き裂かれ海に沈んでしまった。めちゃくちゃワンピースっぽいけどこれもポールシフト。ちなみに監督は宮崎駿。ワンピースはジブリオマージュたくさんありますよね。小田先生は宮崎駿監督をとてもリスペクトしているという発言もありました。他にも神々の指紋、ポーネグリフにそっくりなものが出てきたり、偉いやつが泳げない人を魚に変えたり、第五の太陽ってワードも出てきます。この作品読み終わった後、ワンピースのネタバレを食らったような気分になりました。この作品もポールシフト、軸が動いています。この時代、ポールシフトの SF が多いんです。ちなみに作者はハンコックさん。さあ本題。ポールシフト。
Okay.
地球の軸がこうなると、何が起こるのか。いきますよ。水位の高いところと低いところが入れ替わります。
これを地球とした時にこういう風に地軸があってこうやって自転してるんですよね。自転していると遠心力ってものがかかるんですよ。この辺はちょっと大きく回っていてこの辺は小さく回ると。つまりこの北極と南極の位置から遠いところ、この辺の遠心力って大きくなってこの辺の遠心力が小さくなるんですよね。なので今この辺の水位ってこの辺の水位よりもちょっと高いんです。小難しい話はどうでもいいよって人はとりあえず空白の100年に北極と南極の位置が移動したことによって今グランドラインの水が増えているよってことだけを頭に入れておいていただければ大丈夫です。
この水位の上下がワンピースのすべてにつながっていきますよ。ワノ国が海底にある。かつて世界と接してたロングリングロングランド島での解説。海の中にあるインペルダウン。こんなのどうやって作るんだ？本当はここ海じゃなかったんじゃないか？水位の上昇がキーになるなら悪魔の実の能力者が泳げないという謎の設定にもようやく意味が生まれます。軸が移動したっていう伏線もちゃんとたくさんあります。地球の軸がずれるとどうなるか知ってますか？磁場が狂います。空にゃ輪をかく鳥の歌。磁場
Holy!
が狂うと鳥は輪をかいて飛んでしまうんです。
Yeah! Yeah!
スバード。体内の自覚で南を向いてい
Internal
る鳥が出てきていますよね。
Right. Why are they facing
彼ら
south?
の
Oh, wait, hold on.
顔の向きが90度変わっちゃってるんです。サウスバードじゃなくてちゃんとウエスタンバードとイースタンバードになっている。他にも磁場が狂うと困る生物がいます。クジラ。彼らは自覚を持つので磁場が狂うと座礁します。ルフィ、ロー、キッド。最近じゃあ一緒に4個を倒して麦わらの一味並みにセットで描かれてますけど、今後不老不死の人が出てきそうですよね。不老不死のぴょぺの実、人人の実モデル2巻に並んで、彼の身にも小田先生は大きな意味を持たせている可能性高いですよね。
しっくりくるのはわかるんだけど、小田先生はこう言ってるぞ。他の漫画と違って自分は完璧に辻褄を合わせた漫画を描いてみたい。空白の100年に軸が90度動いてたら惑星はひっちゃかめっちゃかだ。自転しながら軸が動いたのか？
そうなんです。そこなんです。頭のいい無駄な。理論上、自転しながら軸が動くと、惑星ってのは大変なことになる。地球並みに自転してたらですけど、自転が遅かったら問題ないんです。ワンピースの世界、自転が遅くないか？異常に一日が長い。船出初日でアルビダ・モーガン・バギーを倒してゾロ仲間にしてナミと手を組んでる。
Wait, really? No way. Wait, really?
クロコダイル倒した次の週にはエネルを倒してるからおかしいなと思ったんです。
A week? I know that I know that all of pre-time skip took place within like I know that it's supposed to have taken place within like a year. But like Alabasta and Skypiea being separated by a week? What are we even watching, Brandon? Brandon, check the description. It's a theory. It's the Drop the
メリ
Pizza's
ーゴを
theory.
もらってたくさん冒険しましたよね。40日くらいで燃やしてますからね。ロビンも行きたいと言え、行きたいみたいな感動シーンあったけど、あれまさかの仲間になって2週間。これだけ辻褄を合わせたい小田先生が無駄に冒険をこんなに短くする必要はありますか？おかしい。
Wait, okay, I'm gonna let her cook.
ワンピースの世界1日が長い、つまり自転が遅い。これで本当に全ての辻褄が合うんです。誰かがワンピースを見つけ、軸が元の位置に戻ったら文字通り世界がひっくり返る。レッドラインが赤道になるから、グランドラインの周りはもう風が吹く。カームベルトがなくなるんです。海洋類の巣がなくなり、グランドラインに自由に入れる、つまり一つなぎの海、オールブルーにもつながる。そして
Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm picturing the map now. So, you have the north, south, east, and west blues. If the red line is shifted in a specific way, all four of those oceans could be connected. That's very true. We're all like on the idea that the red line has to be destroyed. But if the red line and the poles were to shift, right? Is that what the implication is? That all four blues would connect?
でもちろんグランドラインの流れも逆になります。表層海流、深層海流の説明もありましたよね。配置は完璧、地球と一緒。でもすべて真逆に書いてました。やはり
Holy shit, really? Yeah, look at that. The arrows are going the opposite direction. It's the exact same as Earth's currents, except they're going the opposite way.
水流が鍵になってるんです。水先って水の流れって言うんですね。世界がひっくり返って
Holy shit!
水流が逆転、リバース。だからグランドラインの出入り口がリバース。
No, wait, that explains Reverse Mountain! Oh, wait a
マ
second.
ウンテンと呼ばれてるんです。水流の逆転で全て辻褄が合うんですよ。グランドラインの流れが逆転するなら、ルフィたちが冒険をスタートした双子岬はゴールである。灯台は基本ゴールにありますしね。逆に現在のグランドラインの終着地点、ロードスター島が本当の出発地点なわけですね。
Hold on, hold on.
グランド
I'm
ライ
running
ンの
that
終
back.
着地点、ロードスター島が本当の出発地点なわけですね。
That's why the magnetism of the Grand Line is so fucked up that you need a log pose to get to every island. That's why you need a log pose to navigate. This is all making so much sense. No way. How is it taking us this long? This is like, oh, I have to stop watching this. I feel like I'm getting the end of One Piece spoiled right now. This doesn't happen often, guys. I don't feel this way often. This makes a lot of sense. I know some people in here are talking about there's no, it might not have been one day, it might not have been a week or whatever. I don't even know if that's necessarily the most important point here. I'm sure it looks like she's been sourcing everything in this video. So if we go back to that section, I think we'd probably be able to find some source there. And even if not, that doesn't actually affect all this other stuff fitting the puzzle perfectly. It actually explains a lot really well. Really, really well.
この図を見てもわかりますよね。誰が見てもここがスタート。
Yeah, the start point is here and you branch off, not the other way around.
つまりこのロードスタートからロードスタート。
No way. Road start. Holy shit. Let her cook.
スタートからロードスタート。
Oh my god! Oh my god! What is this video?
知らないでしょう。ロジャーラビットです。ギアフィフスのルフィが目飛び出たりするじゃないですか。そこで皆さんトムとジェリーなのかマスクなのかっていう討論をしてたのをよく見たんですけど、実はロジャーラビットも同じように目が飛び出たりするんですよね。で最後に腕が伸びるのも印象的です。しかも主人公の名前ロジャーなんですよ。海賊機のジョリー・ロジャーから取ってるから関係ないって言いたい気持ちはわかるんですけど、あとウォンテッドの張り紙も実はこの作品が先なんですよ。しかもこっちのロジャーもストーリーの中でなんと処刑されそうになってるっていう。
小田先生はディズニーめちゃくちゃ
That's
使いますよ
actually
ね
a sick. I never even thought of the Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing. No way. Okay. As a Marine, I gotta report this shit to headquarters. I'm just gonna say right now, this is getting the immediate Buster call. This video, I don't even know where my button is. Where's the Buster call button? Can we? All right. This isn't a Buster call button, but this will have to work, okay? Bam. I'm Buster calling this video. This is too
いら
much.
ないくらい使います。
Buster call.
ディズニーの
No.
おそらくウサギのロジャーラビットからロジャーを取った可能性が非常に高いと思っています。ディズニーランドウサギつながりでもう一匹いますよね。ウサギ丼。
今スプラッシュマウンテン乗ってきたんですけど、南部の歌っていう古い作品をモデルにしてて、ディズニーランドでも一番人気のアトラクションなんですよ。のんびり旅をして最後落ちるみたいな。ラフテル笑い話っていうのは笑いの国からインスピレーションを受けてるんじゃないかなって僕は思ってて、っていうのも実際このアトラクションで、笑いラフとかラフィングみたいな、ラフっていう言葉が結構至る所に書いてあったりして、なんか笑いの国行こう笑いの国行こうってずっと言ってるけど、いざ行ってみたら全然笑いの国じゃなかったみたいな。さっきのさピノキオのプレジャーアイランドもそうなんだけど、幸せとか楽しいみたいなワードが入っているところの実態って
まあ行ってみたら全然違ったみたいな、それが結構ねディズニーの、まあ、王道っていうかディズニーあるあるなんですよ。だからラフテルも実は笑い話じゃないのかもしれないですね。スプラッシュマウンテンも一周回ってたどり着いた笑いの国が自分の家だったみたいなオチなんですけど、まあ、グランドラインも一周するじゃないですか。だからもしかしたらラフテルも、まあ、出発地点というかイーストブルーとかにあるかもしれないですね。
クロッカスが入り口で待っているのも最後
So I don't know if anyone caught that. I don't know if anyone caught that, but in the ride, in like the Laughland ride, before you go on the drop, it says it's too late. It's like now it's too late, you know, like the drop's happening. That's what the ride says. It's too late. And they're contrasting it with in Laugh Tale, you get to the end and the answer was it's too early. That's a really interesting little connection there too.
帰ってこなくちゃいけないっていうのを知ってるからじゃないですか。スプラッシュマウンテン乗ったことある方はわかると思うんですけど、めっちゃリバースマウンテンですよね。登っていって落ちる山、見た目も似てます。だから思いません？グランドラインもぐるっと回ってスタート地点がゴールだと。
じゃあ入り口のリバースマウンテンにラフテルがあるんじゃん。
思い
Think about that. You enter reversed and you go backwards through the. Oh my.
ましたよね。違うんです。
I'm blown away.
自分の家が笑いの国でした。だからラフテルも家って話ですけど、ラフテルにたどり着いたのは誰でしたか？ロジャーなんですよ。彼の家はローグタウンです。ここは始まりの街であり終わりの街とも言われてますね。まず半分結論言わせてください。半分です。ラフテルの場所はローグタウン、ゴール D ロジャーなんて名付けられてるだけありますね。
ここがグランドラインでレッドラインが通ってて、ノースブルー、イーストブルー、サウスブルー、ウエストブルーで、今軸がこういう風に通ってますと。ただ軸がもともとここだったんじゃないのって話なんですよね。軸がここにあればこの辺が北極になるわけですよ。で反対側、裏側が南極です。リバースマウンテンがここにあって、ルフィたちはこういう風に進んでいる。入り口がこっち側です。そしたらロードスター島っていうのはこの辺にあるんですよ。ロードスターは北極星って意味です。この辺が北極ってことを考えるとぴったりですよね。でスタート地点の近くにはポルスター諸島ってのがあるわけですが、このポールスターですから、これも北極星なんです。やはりもともと軸がここでこの辺に北極があったっ
I'm
ていうの
sorry.
は
I gotta look this up. Hold on. I was like, what the fuck is Polestar? And then I look up Polestar Island. How have I not known that Logtown is on Polestar Island this whole time? You're telling me Lodestar and Polestar are both at the same point, basically, in the Grand Line, like right at the ends of the Grand Line? How have we not had this theory before? Holy shit. I think I might tap out of, I might be done making One Piece theories after, I don't know if I can top this.
まあ間違いなさそうですよね。しかもこのポルスター諸島にローグタウンがあります。ロジャーにとっての始まりの町であるローグタウン、つまりこのポルスター諸島と最終地点のロードスター島、どっちも
Yeah, they have the same meaning.
同じ意味なんですよ。おかしいですよね。前回話した理論に基づいての話になっちゃうんですけど、この辺に軸がある場合ってこの一帯の水位ってちょっと下がるんですよね。
Holy, I have my, I just realized my fucking hand is like up like this for 30 seconds. Like I'm legit, my mind is wandering right now.
ローグタウンのあたりはもっと水位が低かったはずなんです。要するにこのポルスター諸島って言ってますけど、ここはある程度標高が高いところなんですよね。海の中にもっと大きな陸が続いているはずなんです。おそらくこんな感じかな。こういう こんな感じの大きな大陸になっていれば、このレッドラインのこっち側とこっち側どっちも同じ北極星っていう風に名付けられていることにも辻褄が合ってくるんですよ。
It's the same
この一帯の
island.
水位が上がってしまっているなら、このロジャーの家のところにラフテルがあるのにみんなが気づかないのも納得です。
小田先生はローグタウンで一番大事な場面
Oh my god. And that's why the red line had to be shifted to split Laugh-Tale in two. Because if you do that, then no one can actually get to the important part of the island, because the only way to get there is to fucking go around the entire world. The biggest possible obstacle to,
ないですか。
right? Is that not what it
100話で
is?
ルフィたちがいたのはどこですか？ローグタウンですよ。ローグタウンのローグって何か知って
Yeah,
ますか？
prologue and epilogue. Yeah.
プロローグ、エピローグなどからわかるように、ローグってのは話って意味なんです。話ですよ。伝説が始まった時、ローグタウンでは何がありましたか？もうここ笑い話じゃないですか、完全に。ロジャー、ローグタウンで処刑される直前にこう言いました。俺の財宝か、欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ、この世のすべてをそこに、そこ、置いてきた。
Yeah, did he say? He didn't say Ahsoka. He said Soko, right? He said Soko. That means that's a close by location. That's not far away. Ahsoka would be far away. Okay. This is wild. This is crazy. Wow.
ラフテルがローグタウンのすぐそこって話をしたんですけど、このようにイーストブルーにラフテルがあるなら、シャンクスがイーストブルーにいたのも、最後回収されそうなゴア王国がイーストブルーなのも、まだ謎が残っているテキーラウルフがイーストブルーなのも納得ですよね。今後ルフィたちが行くわけですから。
前回言ったように、もともと軸がここにあった場合の話をします。ロードスター島とポルスター諸島、どっちも北極星ですから、ここら辺にもともと北極があったっていうこともこの理論だとほぼ確定なわけですけど、ここに軸があった場合はここら辺の水が少なくなる。そうすると一つの大きな島が浮かび上がる。レッドラインが真ん中を通るわけですね。これ上から見たら D ですよね。
待てよ、D が2つあるじゃねえか。
No.
以前も話したように、
な
正反対のルフィと黒ひげが D の時点で、2種類
No.
に D がいてもおかしくないですよね。対立構造としても辻褄が合います。小田先生は世界中の名所をオマージュしていると言いましたが、まだ一つ出てきていないものがありまして、誰もが知ってますよね。ベルリンの壁。ちょうどここの反対側、ね、にマリージョアと魚人島があるんです。反対側にね。この世界政府、神の天敵 D がちょうど裏側に来ます。ローが育った町のモデルはローテンブルクかなと思っています。美女と野獣の朝の風景、ピノキオの舞台としても使われている有名なドイツの観光地です。ローが行ったミニオン島、ここのモデルはおそらくドイツのリューベック、すぐ近くのルーベック島に名前を使ってますね。ローテンブルク、リューベック。ローにドイツ要素が含まれていたのもベルリンの壁なら納得ですし、ポーラーが極地を表す。 ローはノースブルー出身だし、北極っぽいですよね。仲間に白クマ、ペンギン、シャチ。ソム。北極ね。ローに北極要素が含まれていたのも納得です。
The fucking North Pole, South Pole conversation that Buggy and Shanks had is fucking killing me right now. You can't just drop that and not say anything about that. That's wild.
北極側がドイツ、南極側がフランスと言いましたが、作中通してドイツと
Germany and France, Mary Joie.
仲の悪さを描いてますよね。ジェルマとサンジとか。
ジェルマっていうのが、スペリングがジャーマン、ドイツなんだよね。で、ドイツって、富国強兵とか強いイメージがあると思うんだけど、そこでジェルマとかけてるんじゃないかなっていう。でもサンジのモデルはフランスなんだよ。マドモアゼルとか言うじゃない、あれもフランス語だし、サンジの技のフランバージュとか、
Yeah, he has a snail shell for an
っていう
eyebrow.
のも全部フランス語なんで、だからそのドイツとフランスって、長い歴史見て結構争ってるから、そこでちゃんと仲の悪さみたいなものをね。
こっち側が D で、反対側が世界政府。イム様や政府のトップがいる城のモデルがシャンボール城であることを考えれば、政府にはフランス要素が詰め込まれてますよね。このインターポールの本部はちゃんとフランスです。つまり北極が D で南極が世界政府。そしたらバギーとシャンクスの言い争い。
There, yep.
以前の考察
Man.
でバギーが D の息子、シャンクスが天竜人の息子っていうのも全て辻褄が合います。これ全部偶然ですか？ローグタウンがロジャーラビットって話します。
Okay, hold on. If this is true, because the Figarland thing with Shanks points to him being a celestial dragon, possibly. So if that's true and Buggy turns out to be a D,
けど、ちょうど反対側のマリージョアの真下にトゥーンタウンがモデルの場所も描いています。
北極側の水位が下がるなら南極側の水位も下がるんじゃないのか？
その通りです。だから魚人島の位置は海底のさらに海底、コーティングをしない限りいけないっていうのはそのための設定だと思います。つまり北極の位置と南極の位置にもともと大きな大陸があったのですが、空白の100年のポールシフトによってかつて栄えた巨大な王国は沈んでしまった。南極側の人たちは人魚なので泳ぎが得意なんですよ。対比として北極側の人たちは泳ぎが苦手な種族だったのではないでしょうか。
Lunarians.
泳げない人たちが得意な性質を持っていた。それが悪魔の実として宿っているなら、能力者が泳げないのも納得いくんですよね。あくまで憶測なんですが、空白の100年のポールシフトで巨大な王国が沈んだ際、この泳げない彼らのことを人魚の一族が助けようとしたのでは？そうなれば箱舟ノアの存在も辻褄合いますよね。
The ark isn't for the fishmen, it's for people. It's for people. It's for the non-swimmers. The ark is to protect the non-swimmers from the flood.
で生き残ったのが D の意志なのではないでしょうか。
Holy shit.
先ほどの神々の指紋でも洪水を起こして泳げない人を魚に変えるやつ出てきましたし、一応全部筋が通ります。ただ今後軸が戻るってなった時、同じように今のグランドラインから沈む国が現れる。それが白星、ポセイドンの出番なのではないでしょうか。最後まで小田先生が残している青生地、彼の出番もここなのではないでしょうか。このかつて栄えた巨大な王国、沈んでしまったと言える根拠を最後に発表してしまいとさせていただきます。小田先生がディズニーオマージュをしていると散々話してきましたが、
Little
まだ
Mermaid?
一つ残っています。アトランティス。国
Atlantis.
が一昼夜にして大海に沈んで消えた。アトランティスにはトビウオライダーズが出てきますし、
Oh!
ゴムゴムの
Okay.
トリスケルが大量に出てきます。影響を受けてそう。アトランティスは海底2万マイルを元に作られた作品。
Yep.
作者ジュール・ベルヌ。人が空想できるすべての出来事は起こりうる現実である。
You've got to be fucking kidding me. Oh, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Theories are done. No more One Piece theories. No more One Piece theories. They're done.
これがウィリー・ガロンの言葉に使われているんです。
We're done. We're done. Damn. That's it. That was it. That was the fucking nail in the coffin. That was the nail in the coffin. I was ready to be like 95% I'm there with you. This was it. That was it. I'm done. I'm done. I can't. What? It's over. It's over. It's over. You can't theorize anymore. How do you do this?
このアトランティスという王国は海の底に沈んだんです。つまりこのリバースマウンテン周りの海底にかつて栄えた巨大な王国があるはずだと。エネル・白星は土地を求める憧れがありましたよね。エネルは土地をバースと呼んでいました。アトランティス。失われた大地を取り戻す戦い。大地を取り戻す。だから巨大な王国の真ん中、リバースマウンテンなんです。
That's what Motto said to me. That's what Motto told me about in the interview. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's what he told me about. Okay, anyone who saw my documentary from when I went to Japan, I talked to one of my Japanese viewers who had a theory about the naming of Reverse Mountain. And he talked about how reverse in Japanese can also be read as reverth. Verth, as in verth, like from Skypiea. So, it's in this theory. It works. It works. It works.
バース。
Motto! Shout out to Motto, bro! Oh my god! Oh
こ
shit.
れはもともと正解にあったジャヤがノックアップストリームによって空に打ち上げられたものです。残った片割れがこちらですね。地図を見るとこっちが北でこっちが南らしいです。そして空島の地図と組み合わせたものがこちら。ドクロの右目に黄金を見たっていう超大事なシーンなので皆さん見覚えありますよね。ただ大昔の地図も出てきます。これとこれがこうやってくっついてたわけですよね。何か気づきませんか？
The compass, right? Yeah. Yeah, the compass. The fucking compass on the
北
map.
と南の位置。
Yeah. East and west. The compass is turned.
明らかに90度
The compass is turned on the map. North is this way.
動いてるんですよ。おかしいでしょ。
Yeah, that is
動い
strange.
てるの確定で、これによって水位変動が起こったと思います。
is it? This is it? I am done. Oh, no way. No way, bro. This is the best fucking One Piece theory I've ever seen. This is the best One Piece theory I have ever seen. Done. Rest in peace. Done. I should have put this last. I should have put this last. Oh, fuck. I was not ready for this video. Oh my god. That was such a fucking surprise. What? Holy shit, this is the craziest theory I've ever heard. How have we not talked about this before? Oh my god, man. What? What? What the fuck did I just watch? I just got One Piece spoiled, bro. I just got One Piece spoiled for me, bro. I always knew I'd get spoiled on the One Piece before fucking... I knew I'd get spoiled on this, man, by YouTube, and it happened by a theory. I'm so convinced. I'm so convinced in this idea. I'm so convinced. I just can't think of a way. I can't think of a way in which I can counter the things in this video. You know, you could counter the pole shift thing up until, oh, hold on. We gotta go back. What? I opened the new tab. Oops, my bad. Okay. You can counter the pole shift theory, kind of, by saying there's maybe an assumption being made there. We don't have proof about it. But when the compass gets pulled up, the receipts get pulled up at the end, wow. Well, I'm convinced. I'm convinced, man. I'm convinced. I don't know. I got nothing else to say besides bravo. 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 Oh my goodness. Thank you. Yo, Chance Rainey, thank you for the $100, bro. He goes, it's too, on the chat scrolling too fast. It's too crazy not to. Hashtag brain rot. Bro. First off, thank you so much. My mind's in 100 places right now. This is wild, man. I know that there's a lot of this that's like hypothetical, where it's like, if the poles were shifted, then it would explain X, Y, or Z, but there's not. The thing is, though, you can't really say that there is, like, you can't really say that they didn't do a good job of proving it, because in reality, this entire explanation is proven by virtue of the One Piece world working the way it does. The burden's on us to explain why the magnetism on the Grand Line's fucked up, why Reverse Mountain is in reverse, why the Calm Belt exists, why the Grand Line exists in the way it does, why do the islands all lead to a single point at the end instead of branching out from the beginning, why do we start with a bunch of different paths and end at one instead of the other way around. The road, dude, road start for Lodestar, bro? You're telling me if we reversed everything, so just like this is proof enough. This is proof, in my book, this is proof enough. Think about how perfect that solution is, how elegant of a solution that is. Because if you are able to, she showed the map of the currents being the exact same currents like flow on Earth, except the currents in One Piece are reversed. She showed the map, how it like looks like it's a reversal, like the paths are reversed. And how do you enter the One Piece? How do you enter the One Piece? How do you enter the Grand Line? Through Reverse Mountain. There's a reversing current going up a mountain. into the Grand Line. The things about the whales using the poles to navigate around the ocean. The birds flying in circles because they're confused about the magnetism. Like, it explains everything. Everything. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It doesn't tell you what the One Piece is, right? That wasn't clarified in this video. What the One Piece treasure itself is. It just tells you where it is. The theory is telling you basically the circumstances that created the One Piece world, the circumstances that made up the story that we've read up until now. That's what this video is trying to answer. It's trying to answer the world building. It's trying to answer the details behind the setting. It is not trying to answer specifically what the treasure is. And I think that was a smart move, because if they did, then if this all happens to come true, and I think a lot of the stuff in this video is going to come true, I really believe it. If they get the guess for the One Piece wrong, I feel like it undermines how much of the rest of the video may be correct. So I'm glad they didn't actually take a shot at the treasure itself. I just, the rest of this explanation is so perfect. And I feel like this must be how the scientists felt when they first discovered, like, what is it, like the universal, like, background radiation that basically helped them understand what the Big Bang was. Like, the first time scientists, like, basically were able to pinpoint the origin of the universe with the Big Bang and all that stuff. This is how they must have felt, except obviously on a much smaller scale with One Piece, but like where you get that like one little detail that explains everything about the world, at least a lot about the world. So even if it's not the perfect solution, it explains so much. It's such a mind blow, man. That's such a mind blow. Wow. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. That makes me happy, man. That brings a smile to my face. I don't even care if this is spoilers. Like, if this turns out all to be correct and I was spoiled, I am so glad to have been here. I'm so glad to have just been able to see someone. The idea of someone actually getting it right before the story's done is so hype to me. It's so hype. It's so hype. I hope this is it. I really do. I love this idea. I love this idea. I can't think of an idea that would make more sense. So now if anything else happens, Oda's going to have a lot of heavy lifting to do to explain One Piece in a more elegant fashion than this, or at least the world of One Piece. Sheesh. I think I'm going to just be an analysis channel from now on. I got no more theories. That's it. So, amazing. Wow. Okay, well, bravo, Dodo Pizza. Thank you for your work. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful video. I really enjoyed watching this. That was an insanely, insanely fun watch. I feel so bad that I pulled this up first, because we still have 2 more theories to watch. And I am sure that these theories are also going to be entertaining, but it's like, man, this is one of those theories that now that I've seen it, I understand why everyone's been asking me to watch this. Yeah, it's a hard act to follow. If there's anyone I think can follow up a theory like this with some very, very thought-provoking stuff that takes a completely different angle, it's my man Threevil. So without further ado, let's pull up Threevil's video and see actually what his take on the One Piece world is, because his theory also tries to explain a lot of the background on the One Piece world and maybe how the world is and the nature of it through this video. So we're gonna get a completely different take on a similar concept. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Let's see what Threevil's take on the reality behind the globe of One Piece is. Let's find out. So without further ado, we got Threevil's video, the Gorosei are planets, which makes Imu-sama this. All right, let's find out.
Did you know that the Godasei are all based on real-world planets? This was a theory that I made over a year and a half ago. I theorized that members of the Godasei would be based off real-life planets just like the ancient weapons. And this aged like fine wine, baby, because as of chapter 1073, the first Godasei member was name dropped as Saturn. Crazy, right? Well, it actually goes way deeper than that, so prepare to be mind blown. I believe that the very first appearance of the Godasei actually spoils the names of all of them. If you look closely, the poster on the table is Luffy, who we know is the sun god. But check me out, we now know the dude on the far right is named Saturn. So I speculate from left to right, the names of the Godasei will be based off of
In the order. Oh, okay. All right, so this is starting off with some heat already. So it's the order of appearance of the
planets in the solar system: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. That's why Saturn is to the far right, and that's why
that's sick.
He's gonna control the 7 Seraphim. This is Oda's way of relating him to the real-life planet of Saturn, who has 7 rings. Oda is completely insane, bro. But today's video goes way deeper than this stuff, as I have concrete evidence for huge discoveries. Today you'll learn why Imu is the moon god, what Imu's plan is, and what the One Piece is. Starting with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Ichiro Oda. This is obviously the author of the legendary story known as One Piece, but there's one peculiar detail I want to point out. Back in volume 1 of One Piece, Oda was talking about how he had to do a lot of research to build this pirate story that we all know and love. One of the most important things he needed in order to build this story was resource material. He had to read sci-fi books, religious books, musical reference. He had to do a lot of research in order to build One Piece. But more importantly, when he was going on the spiel, he was actually wearing an outfit of an alien. Yeah, that might be a random fact. Maybe it means nothing. He just kind of threw on an outfit to whatever, but I need you to hold on to that detail. It's very apparent that Oda focuses on outer space when it comes to One Piece. That's why we have celestial dragons, people that come from the moon, a literal spaceship. The list goes on and on. But hold on to that detail, how he dressed as
I just had to, Saturn got more rings than MJ? Damn. Mizo, that's funny as fuck.
Alien. Moving back to chapter 1073, this is a monumental moment for the One Piece story and community. I myself, I've been waiting for such a long time to see the names of the Godasei, not even for the sake of me having a correct theory, but for the fact that I'm a huge One Piece fan, just like you guys reading this chapter and reading the story day in and day out. But regardless, it seems like one of the members of the Godasei is named after Saturn. Yeah, there's supposed to be some kind of Greek god of Saturn or something like that, but I want to build the case that he's named after the planet instead. When you think about celestial dragons, what does celestial mean? Celestial refers to outer space and the heavenly skies. Does this explain why celestial dragons wear space outfits and they look like they work for NASA? Does this explain why people from the moon went down to the blue planet? There's all sorts of signs that the celestial dragons, and specifically the Godasei, are not from this planet. That's why a year and a half ago I speculated that these guys would be named after planets. But regardless, let's talk about the first appearance of the Godasei. You see all 5 of the Godasei members along with the poster of Monkey D. Luffy. Now on surface level, it's just these old white guys, they're looking at this young pirate. It doesn't really mean anything. But when you closely analyze One Piece's story and watch how Oda writes and the patterns he makes, it's very apparent that Oda created a very important metaphor with this first panel of the Godasei. Starting with the man on the far right, it's confirmed that his name is Saturn. When we look at Monkey D. Luffy, we know he's the personification of the sun. So how about you take a look at this from the lens that this is a reference to outer space and that this is all metaphorical. In this panel, you have 5 planets revolving around the sun. Now I understand when Oda first made the story, there was 9 planets, and we'll get into that later. But I speculate that the 3 planets that are not in this panel are actually the ancient weapons. And I would even go as far as to argue that the celestial dragons use the ancient weapons in the past.
No, those are all the Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are all at the tail end of our solar system. And you know what's even cooler is that Pluto, being considered a dwarf planet or not a real planet, might line up with the whole idea of Pluton having been man-made. Just want to throw that. That's a really cool point, actually.
Of a peculiar detail in Robin's flashback. When Professor Clover was on the phone and arguing with the celestial dragons, he said he's not really trying to use the ancient weapons and trying to cause mass destruction. He's trying to know how to counter them. And he calls the celestial dragons out by saying, you don't want me to research the poneglyphs. You don't want me to learn about the ancient weapons because you don't want us to know how to counter them. When he said this, members of the Godasei gasped and they realized he caught onto their plan. So what Oda did in that moment was insinuated that the celestial dragons used the ancient weapons in the past. But why does that matter? If those 3 ancient weapons are closely related to planets, then it makes sense why the celestial dragons would be too. So again, we have the sun that is Luffy, 5 planets making up the Gorosei, and 3 planets making up the ancient weapons. But there's one more important celestial body when it comes to One Piece: the moon. Think about how often the moon has been very important in One Piece. We know NL went to the moon, we know the Minks are powered up by the moon, and we know that the moon is always brought up during the conversations of the Dawn. Oda has went very far out of his way to show importance to the moon. So it's safe to say that in One Piece, the moon is a huge deal, just like the sun. So if there's 9 items in One Piece that relate to celestial bodies, I would argue that there will be a character in One Piece that is the personification of the moon. And who will that be? Imu-sama. Now, how do we build this case? Let's start with Panda Man. This is the panda-looking guy hiding all over the—
You can't. That's the funniest fucking segue. It's like, he wants a proof. It's like a picture of Panda Man.
manga, every single chapter, all around the anime. A lot of people don't actually know this, but he has his own story and his own lore. I won't be getting into that this video because this video is not really about that, but I bring that up because you need to know that Panda Man is a canon character. Yes. Again, not only does he have his own lore, but Panda Man's name actually appeared in a poneglyph during Alabasta. Now you're probably wondering, why does Panda Man matter? Why does it matter he's canon? Why does it matter that this is a character in the story? That's because Panda Man indirectly confirmed that Kaguya is canon to the One Piece lore. Now before we jump into it, do not be angry and click off this video. I get it, you hate Naruto and you hate Kaguya in that story and it ruined Naruto for you. But just because two different anime are inspired by the same thing doesn't mean that each anime is gonna have the same kind of depiction of the reference.
Yeah, and this, let me just quickly build on that. We can't use that, like people that do the Kaguya hate thing and like, oh, you can't reflect a similar idea in One Piece. It's like, sorry to tell you, bro, but Luffy and Goku are based off of the same guy. Goku and Luffy are both based on Sun Wukong, Son Goku. Or rather, Son Goku is based on Sun Wukong. Get it? Right? Like that's the whole point. And then Monkey D. Luffy, the Monkey King, right? So they're based off the same character. Two authors can make two different interpretations of the same thing. It's fine. Just because Naruto did it wrong. I've seen this come up. I appreciate 3evil for actually making that point because I see this come up a lot, and it's like, just because it's the same sort of idea, you know, doesn't mean it's gonna play out the same way.
Example, in Naruto they had a character named Orochimaru, and in One Piece they had a character named Orochi. Both of these characters are based off the Japanese legend Yamata no Orochi. But yet when you look at these two anime characters, they are vastly different. They relate almost in no way. So again, if Oda uses Princess Kaguya in his story, that does not mean it's going to be the same depiction as in Naruto. But to explain Princess Kaguya for those who don't know about her, this is a Japanese legend of a princess that comes from the moon. There's actually a lot of details about Princess Kaguya that relate to Imu-sama. For an example, she has 5 followers that tried to sway her over and she came from the moon. Now in NL's cover story, we know that people did in fact come from the moon to the blue planet. So who's to say that Imu wasn't one of those people that traveled to the blue planet? I think it's very likely. And obviously the 5 people trying to win Princess Kaguya over is the Gorosei in One Piece's world government. Now as far as Kaguya kind of being like this princess girl character, I think Sugar is actually foreshadowing Imu. If you take a look at Sugar, this is a young girl who ate a toy fruit or whatever it's called, and for some reason it paused her age indefinitely. How does that make any sense? It seems very off to me. Like think about Law's Devil Fruit. His ultimate power in surgery is to give someone perpetual youth. This is something that the world government put a bounty on for 5 billion. A bounty higher than Shanks, higher than Kaido, all of these guys. But for some reason that effect and that power was already given to Sugar just because she ate the toy fruit or whatever. How does that make any sense? I believe Oda created Sugar this way to foreshadow Imu being a princess with a crown who had the perpetual youth surgery.
That's fire. That's a fire connection. I like that a lot. Especially because it's in the same arc that we get introduced to the Ope Ope no Mi. So like the idea that there's an intentional connection being made there, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Done on her. Now if you compare this to the legend of Princess Kaguya, it's actually said that she had the elixir of eternal youth. It's starting to seem like Princess Kaguya and Imu are relating in a lot of ways. I do believe that Imu is from the past and Imu's from the Void Century. One simple way to explain this is that someone in the Void Century used the perpetual youth surgery on Imu. This would make Imu perpetually young and therefore relating to the Princess Kaguya tale. Now it's also said that Kaguya loved a man from Japan Japan known as a shogun. Now, if I had to relate this to One Piece, I would argue that this Japan shogun was Joy Boy. This would actually be very thematic for One Piece because all throughout the Wano arc, we heard Joy Boy, Joy Boy, Joy Boy. This would explain why it took the Wano arc specifically to add so much focus to this legendary character. Not only that, but this could also explain why Kaido knows about Joy Boy in the first place. Many people, including myself, speculated that maybe Kaido knows about Joy Boy from rocks. But if this is not the correct scenario, perhaps Joy Boy is from Wano and this explains why Kaido knows about him. This could even create a scenario where Imu basically betrayed Joy Boy. I know it's a popular belief in the community for several reasons, but I kind of co-sign that idea.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I don't know if you mentioned this in the video, Threevil, but the whole thing of Hiyori at the end of Wano, she was performing, like, her favorite song to perform was called Moon Princess, and she's from Wano, and that was a song that was taught to her by Toki, who came from the Void Century, and yeah, Toki taught her a song called Moon Princess.
Perhaps Imu was in love with Joy Boy, just like how Boy is in love with Luffy. But maybe Joy Boy rejected that love and it caused Imu to get 20 kings to overthrow Joy Boy. This could even be a reference to Imu's kingdom. If you take the phrase Marijwa and break it down, you get Marry Joy. Could this be a hint that Imu wanted to marry Joy Boy? This will be another instance of Imu versus Joy Boy.
Imagine getting friend zoned so hard that you name your whole kingdom after the person you got friend zoned by.
The battle of the sun god versus the moon god for leadership. And all of this makes much more sense, and it's actually pretty funny when you consider Sabaody. You know how in the auction house Luffy punched a celestial dragon
on that virgin rage grind?
That actually reminds me how you should punch the like, subscribe, and notification button to never miss the best One Piece theory videos on YouTube. But anyways, Luffy punching a celestial dragon again holds a lot of metaphorical meaning. We know that celestial is another word for space. So this was Oda's way of symbolizing that the sun rules all. Luffy quite literally said, "F you, this is my galaxy." To me, that is something that Oda would definitely do. Oda loves to create these patterns and loves to create these double meanings in the story. But as far as the galaxy goes, it is actually said that Princess Kaguya eventually returned to the moon. This could actually explain what happens to Imu at the end of the story. If Luffy ends up fighting Imu and Imu's the moon god, perhaps Imu will return to the moon just like NL. But it's very important that it's the sun versus the moon, that it's Joy Boy versus Imu. Imu needs to come from the Void Century, not only for the sake of this theory, but think about the flashbacks that we're gonna have. It would be very weird and it wouldn't really make sense if Imu was like the 20 millionth generation of the dude who caused the Void Century. It would make a lot more sense if Luffy fought the person who created the Void Century. With the tyranny at Wano, Luffy fought Kaido. With the tyranny at Dressrosa, Luffy fought Doflamingo. So I expect Luffy versus Imu to follow suit. The moment Luffy's punch lands in Imu's face, that'll cause Imu to have a flashback of what they did to Joy Boy, of what happened in the Void Century. And speaking about the Void Century, I would argue that Imu created a solar eclipse, but in a metaphorical sense. Like, think back to Leloucia Kingdom. We know that this was an area destroyed by Imu, but keep in mind, this took place after the planets asked the moon what light to extinguish. And ironically, Lucia is the Latin word for light. So basically, the moon extinguished the light, and this is a metaphor of a solar eclipse. Like way back in the day during Joy Boy and Nika's time, the sun ruled the world, but once the moon came up and created the solar eclipse, it shrouded the world in darkness. So if Imu is the personification of the moon, it would make sense why the dawn brought by Luffy makes him the sun. And here's another clue that we know that Imu is based off Princess Kaguya from the moon. All throughout the Wano arc, we learned that Hiyori's favorite song is Moon Princess. If Panama confirmed that Princess Kaguya is canon and Hiyori has a song called Moon Princess,
of course you had it in there.
These are the types of clues that Oda would add to the story. Now remember earlier how we pointed out that Oda wore an alien mask in volume 1? It is said that Kaguya had her own flying saucer. Everyone knows that UFOs are basically piloted by aliens, they go hand in hand. So this has me thinking that Imu used a flying saucer to completely eradicate Leloucia Kingdom. And even if you look closely at Imu's eye in that panel, you can't tell me that doesn't look like a flying saucer. And to accompany that, at the top of the page, Leloucia citizens were talking about how they saw something in the air. I guarantee you in this specific moment, Oda zoomed in onto Imu's eye to imply that Imu owns a flying saucer. And again, this relates to Princess Kaguya because she too owned a flying saucer. Because in the words of Dark King Rayleigh, there are no such thing as coincidences in this world. Another way this whole Imu moon god theory goes deeper is it adds a lot more meaning to the statement that Whitebeard had at Marineford. Whitebeard told us that when the One Piece is discovered, the whole world will turn upside down.
I know this is Threevil's video, but now that line just hit me. If the poles shifting is... God, that theory was so crazy. If the pole shifting is what explains everything about the One Piece world, the sentence that Whitebeard says where when the One Piece is found, the world will be turned upside down, now has a totally different meaning to me. And I just want to point that out.
Peace wa jitsuzai suru.
Let's think about Imu being the moon and Luffy being the sun. The One Piece world is shrouded in darkness right now because Imu is the king of the world. But if Luffy takes down Imu, that means the sun is ruling the world again. That means the dawn has come. So looking at Whitebeard's words, discovering the One Piece quite literally turns the world upside down. Quick little shout out to my Discord server, discord.gg/333VIL, where I'm always posting hot takes, fresh new theories, and sneak peeks to videos. If you're too lazy to type in this very easy URL, there's a link in the description. Join today. Now, I do believe towards the end of the story, Imu's gonna create a solar eclipse. But to explain that, let's dive into other cultures and other mythologies to make sense of that. All throughout the One Piece story, it seems like Oda has this great pattern in the major arcs to have a timer. In 20 minutes, the bomb in Alabasta is gonna blow up. In an hour, the ship is gonna crash into Fishman Island. In 2 hours, Onigashima is gonna crash into the flower capital. Every single arc, timer. Now, when we think about the end of One Piece and we think about even Laugh Tale, I would argue that same theme, that same pattern is present. Now, when you think back to Laugh Tale, one of the statements that Roger had is he said that it was too early after he left Laugh Tale. This insinuates that the One Piece or the island itself is on a timer, it's time-based. Now, let's think back to the clock tower in Alabasta. It had a big bomb inside of it, and I believe that is symbolism. We know that the Suna clan had a secret base inside of that clock. Knowing Oda's writing style, knowing Oda's patterns, he used an inversion here. The Suna clan had a secret base inside of the clock, whereas the D clan had a clock in their secret base. This might sound wild and confusing, but hang on just for a second. I'm about to blow your mind. Have you noticed all throughout Shandora and like the Skypiea arc, it's based on Aztec mythology? It had temples there, the Quetzalcoatl, all these sorts of statues. It is heavily based on Mayan and Aztec culture. Now, when you look into their culture, one of their greatest feats they ever did was creating the Aztec calendar. It's also known as a sunstone, but it's basically a device that lets you see the future. You can see events like tsunamis, solar eclipses, etc. Now, what we need to do is bridge the gap between the Aztec calendar and One Piece. We need to figure out if there's clues that the Aztec calendar is in One Piece. And you guys know me, I dig way deeper than anyone else is willing to, and I found the reference. During NL's cover story, when he went to the moon, you can see that on the hieroglyphics he was looking at, there's a symbol of the Aztec calendar. These two items look exactly identical. You can see the spikes in the corners are the same. You can see the curved spikes at north, east, southwest are also the exact same. It is my sincere belief that the legendary treasure known as the One Piece is the Aztec calendar. But maybe in One Piece terms, they call it the Nika calendar.
That's a sick find. I'm gonna have to Buster call your ass too, my dude. I'm Buster calling that. That's a sick. This is what I was waiting for. I remember when you mentioned that to me, I was like, wait a second. That makes a lot of sense. Buster call, right? Go. You see, Threevil posted his Discord in the video, World Government. You know where to find him. He just revealed his location. Not that your Den Mushis would have any trouble finding him anyway. Seek this man out. He's become a problem with a theory like this. This is actually
thinking back to Odin's Flash.
And I love, we talked about this in the stream. I love where this is going. I know where this is going and I love it.
Back at Laugh Tale, Roger laughed because a legendary man named Joy Boy created his calendar out of gold. Obviously, Roger would be impressed. How would this man have all of history and the future on a stone tablet? But here's the interesting contrast between Roger and Luffy. Luffy is not the kind of guy to accept fate and accept like fortune telling. He doesn't want to live like that. Luffy believes in his own freedom to do whatever he wants and when he wants. He's not worried about the grand scheme of things. He's not worried about hyper specific details. So I'm arguing that instead of laughing like Roger, Luffy's gonna be angry and upset and he's gonna destroy the One Piece. Now, thinking back to Sabaody, really said that someone who finds the One Piece might have a different conclusion. This might foreshadow that Luffy himself does not experience joy like Roger, and instead he's gonna experience anger.
Never existed.
Some people in this world just sit back and they accept fate, but others may act out and try to change the course of fate. One of those people is Monkey D. Luffy. He's not gonna sit there listening to that. He's not going to allow that. And I actually hypothesized that this Aztec calendar or Nika calendar will probably say that that Luffy's defeated by Imu. But through Luffy's hard work, love, dedication, and imagination, he's gonna change the course of fate. Now, as far as the One Piece being the Aztec calendar, this Nika calendar, what other clues do we have that can confirm this case? Let's think about Oden. He had this prophecy that these pirates would come to the New World, destroy Kaido, and do all this stuff in 20 years time. But how did Oden know that? The only way Oden could have learned this is if he read about it at Laugh Tale. So that confirms that something on Laugh Tale tells you the future. Something at Laugh Tale is a fortune teller. Now, with that being the case, why would you argue against the One Piece being that fortune teller? I believe that'll be the interesting contrast between the One Piece and the poneglyphs. All of the poneglyphs in the world tell you about the past, it tells you about history. None of them tell you prophecies, none of them tell you about the future. But yet Oden on Laugh Tale learned about a 20-year prophecy. And I believe this is because the One Piece told him so. There's more symbolism that Shandora or Aztecs held this prophecy for the return of the Sun God. If you take a close look at the golden belfry of Shandora, the golden bell Luffy punched Enel into, you can see symbols of a monkey with a straw hat. It seems like in the past, the Shandians or the ancient kingdom already had a prophecy of this legendary man that's personified through a monkey and a straw hat. But for some reason, Oda never mentioned this to Toki. He never mentioned it at all. So that's why I believe the One Piece is the Aztec calendar and it foretells prophecies. And I would even argue that maybe the Joy Boy in the way past was a monkey in a straw hat just like Luffy. And right before Oden died, he had these legendary famous words that he told his wife Toki. He says that the day the world is overturned, jump 20 years in the future and you shall see. The phrase world is overturned is referencing the One Piece, because remember, Whitebeard said the man who finds the One Piece will turn the world upside down. These two statements connect to each other. But more importantly, the phrase jump 20 years is insinuating that current One Piece time, someone will find the One Piece. Now you see the important difference between saying someone's gonna defeat Kaido and saying someone's gonna find the One Piece? How would Oden know that? Unless the One Piece on Laugh Tale told him so. Now I wanna focus on one specific detail that Roger had in the story of One Piece. Before Roger died, he told Rayleigh, I'm not gonna die, partner. Now this sparks many different debates in the One Piece community, but it seems like this is linked to how Dr. Herolux says that a man doesn't die until he's forgotten. So did Roger read on the Aztec calendar that he would create a great age of pirates? This would explain why he's not scared to die, and it adds way more depth to that scene. Even as Sabaody, Rayleigh also says that Ohara was too hasty. This means the island was acting too soon. They were trying to learn about Joy Boy, the Void Century, Imu. It was too soon. You want to know why Ohara was too hasty? The Straw Hats did not yet arrive at Laugh Tale. So I would argue that Rayleigh must know about prophecies told on Laugh Tale, because when he said that, it was 2 years ago before the time skip. And Rayleigh even goes as far as to say that even if the Straw Hats know the full history, it's still
there's nothing
too
you
early.
could do about
this is
it, right?
because the Straw Hats have yet to arrive at Laugh Tale. They have yet to fulfill the prophecy. And there's one other prophecy that I know Oda's gonna add to the story. During the Laugh Tale arc, it is gonna say that Imu destroys the whole planet. And this would relate to every single One Piece arc. They all face island destruction. So Luffy versus Imu will be based on world destruction by Imu. And from a metaphorical lens, Luffy defeating Imu will end the solar eclipse. Because Luffy doesn't care about fate or prophecies or history or any of that. He's not worried about it. He does what he wants when he wants. And if he knows that Imu's gonna destroy the whole planet, potentially killing all of his friends, of course he will be forced to go after Imu. Especially since it's said that Princess Kaguya kidnapped a princess. And what do you have here? Princess Vivi is now missing.
That's sick.
I guarantee you that Imu-sama captured Vivi and killed Cobra. And I would argue maybe this is
And
on
now
the
we know.
Aztec calendar
And
or the
when was
Nika
this? This is
calendar
2 months ago. So was this before Vivi got captured by Morgans? But you so wait, was this before or after the Cobra death reveal? I'm wondering if you called half of that. That's cool.
And just to remind you, my whole idea on what the One Piece is very sound. Oda said that the One Piece is not the friends we made along the way, and it's something physical. If I think the One Piece is the Aztec calendar, then this would make the One Piece a physical object. And Oda also said that the One Piece has never been correctly guessed. But if you go on Google and you type in One Piece is the Aztec calendar, nothing has come up. Imu-sama is the moon god, and the One Piece is the Aztec calendar. Click on this video to see why.
Oh, so you're saying that no one has guessed it before. Okay, so some interesting ideas that came to my mind while watching this. I really, first off, I like the idea of the Aztec calendar, the eclipse, and having the actual celestial bodies being calculated by the ancient kingdom that might have played into their predictive capabilities. What I like about this idea is that this actually connects to real life science in a lot of ways. And the reason it does that is because in real science, now obviously I'm not a big scientist. I can't give any explanation I give is going to be a gross oversimplification of it. But we know that the ancient kingdom is a highly, highly advanced, technologically advanced society, right? Well, what were they attempting to do with that science is a better question. And with real science, you know, prior to the introduction of quantum physics, there was the idea that was pretty solidly held in the science community that if we were able to get the data for every particle in the universe, if you had the position and the position and the acceleration of every particle in the universe, that means you could use math to take the position and acceleration of that particle and trace it backwards to where it used to be. And if you do that, eventually you can take every particle and trace them backwards, and you would have the entire history of the universe, because every particle came from somewhere. It has to be traced back to a certain point, and thus, if you did that, you would know, and using those numbers, you could mathematically calculate everything that's ever happened and everything that ever will happen, because you know where every particle is heading. And this is a big, pretty much the basic concept of determinism. The big thing, the big issue that came in the face of science when this was being posited, and when people actually believed this for a period of time, that if with the right amount of math we could calculate everything that's ever going to happen or everything that ever will happen. The problem with this, and this is a really simplified explanation, is that quantum physics makes that impossible, because quantum physics is theorized to involve multiple universes, and it involves an element of uncertainty. Particles at the quantum level, which means quantum level means the smallest level, as small as you can go with particles. That's the quantum level. So at the quantum level, particles operate both as waves and as particles. Meaning, as waves, when they're not being, it's super hard to explain this, but basically, when you're not observing a particle of light, it moves in a wave, right? Or like a quantum particle, it moves in a wave. But when you observe it, it becomes a particle. That means that until you observe something, you can't actually predict where it is. That's the basic explanation, which means the world cannot be predicted. We actually cannot predict using math everything that's ever happened or ever will happen currently with our level of science, because there is a level of uncertainty. In the fundamental, smallest level of our universe, there is an element of mathematical uncertainty that cannot be predicted, which basically makes whoever can figure out the theory of everything, whatever scientist can explain how to properly calculate things at the quantum level and actually be able to predict, if we can remove that element of uncertainty, then we pretty much have a theory of everything. We have a theory that explains everything. In the One Piece world, if the scientists of the ancient kingdom were able to do this, we see now with Vegapunk, he's doing this dimensional jumping shit. Now, you guys might be wondering what this is all about. Quantum physics has a lot to do with the multiple universe theory, the parallel universes, different realities all occurring at the same time. It's not that there's uncertainty. It's that every possible thing that can happen will happen. Every possible thing, wherever a particle could be, it's not that it's uncertain. It's that it exists in every place at once. And we have an infinite number of universes that split off from every possibility. That's the theory, right? In One Piece, we see Vegapunk explain very recently, using the marvels of science, he makes references to multiple dimensions, about how every possibility can become a reality if people wish for it. Vegapunk is bringing quantum mechanics into One Piece to a certain degree, which is super interesting to me, because real life scientists are trying to get that theory of everything that they can use to predict everything that ever will happen. That we'll be able to predict the future using this sort of theory of everything, theoretically. So if the ancient kingdom was so advanced that they managed to crack the code, they have this multi-dimensional technology. They created devil fruits, right? Which are supposed to be super dimensional. According to Vegapunk, they're super dimensional. So, or hyperdimensional rather, whatever the word is, right? They supersede dimensions. Devil fruits have that power. Whatever kingdom created this cracked the code, right? So if that's possible, then that might mean that this calendar that is able to predict the future It may not be like the one-to-one Aztec sun calendar, right? But it might be a piece of technology that serves the same purpose. Maybe they managed to calculate everything that's ever going to happen in the future. And that's what the power of the One Piece is. It's knowing fate. It's knowing what's coming. And Luffy, being like the ultimate seeker of freedom, will try and break free from that fate. That's why I love this idea. Because, I don't know, I mean, obviously, I went on a whole big ramble about quantum stuff, but like it really does connect here, believe it or not, with Vegapunk specifically. And obviously I didn't explain it as well as a professional scientist could, but it is reflected in One Piece. Vegapunk is meant to reference these advanced scientific concepts, and I can only wonder why. I can only wonder if he's getting all his technology and all his ideas from the Ancient Kingdom. Maybe this whole dimensional shifting thing and like, you know, how Vegapunk is able to phase through solid matter, through dimensions. I mean, there's no way. You're telling me quantum mechanics aren't going to be accounted for in One Piece? I definitely think the idea of multiple dimensions and all that sort of stuff is going to play a part. And the idea of the real life scientific theory of everything that tries to have an explanation for the entire universe, I think that could exist in One Piece. And that's why I like this theory, the Aztec calendar theory. The Aztec calendar is, in a way, the original theory of everything. It is the original predictive calendar that tells us what's going to happen in the future. The thing is, the Aztecs couldn't look at the atomic level. They couldn't use microscopes to look at the quantum level, or well, obviously you can't use a microscope to look at the quantum level, but they couldn't, basically the point is, they couldn't look at small things. The Aztecs were looking up at the stars. They had to base all of their calendars and all of their stuff, all their calculations were based off of what they could see in the sky. But Aztecs did not have the technology to look inward, to look at the small. We have that now. And Vegapunk has that now. And the Ancient Kingdom maybe had that. So if they had a sun calendar, they weren't just worried about the outside. They weren't just worried about the planets and the stars. They probably had the technology to look inside too and look at the small stuff. And maybe they have a theory of everything. That could be what the One Piece is. Legit, that legit could be what the One Piece is. And I don't see a reason for why not. We have fortune telling in One Piece. We have Charlie, so we have an element of fortune telling here. It's not that the entire One Piece world is deterministic, because it's been proven in the story that the future can be changed. Maybe with the correct amount of willpower, with the right will, the future can be changed. Gang Beige has that line in Whole Cake Island. That whole arc focused on the idea of using haki to see the future. I talked with Threevil about this, I think, on the Wednesday stream. But what is observation haki, right? Right? What is observation haki? It's possible that observation haki is the same sort of concept as what I'm talking about with the real life theory of everything, right? In science, if you know what a particle has done up until now and you know where it is currently, then you can predict where it's going to go next and what it's going to do next. So by that same logic, maybe observation haki, we saw Shanks had to read up on Kid before he read the future on him. Maybe it's the same way. If you know everything about a person, observation haki is having the ability to see through their soul and predict what they're going to do next. Maybe you can read their will. So maybe the only way to break the future and to change the future is to use that same sort of mystical haki future-seeing ability to counter that. It might be like a battle of will versus fate. And I think that's just such an interesting idea. And I know that this is a big, big, long ramble, but I hope that by the end of this, I could explain to you guys why I'm excited by this theory. And I was saying it a little bit yesterday. Obviously I didn't want to spend all the time explaining that on stream. But now that we're here, I hope that clarified why I like this idea. Because it does connect a lot to some of in the real world, our real life scientists, our real life philosophers have been trying for centuries to get the answer to everything. They've been trying to figure out what's at the fabric of our universe. They've been trying to figure out what's at the edge of our universe. Why do we exist? What started everything? What's the reason for everything? What's going to happen next? And the whole thing about fate in One Piece, and everyone complains like, oh, Luffy's the chosen one. He's supposed to be free, but he's not free if he's the chosen one. Yeah, well, maybe that's the point. Maybe no one in the One Piece world is free. Even if you are the king of the entire world, you're not free. because you're a slave to fate. At the end of it all, Eam can seize all the power that he or she wants, and Eam can become the king of the world. But the One Piece is the one thing, in this case, with the calendar, the One Piece would be the single thing that has more power than Eam. Because fate is something that you can't fight, or maybe that Eam believes you can't fight. Eam doesn't have the spiritual willpower or whatever to overcome fate. And that might be the difference between a real sun god and a fake sun god. Someone like Luffy, who has the creativity and the imagination and the willpower to just make the world his oyster, versus someone who has to control the world and limit people and fight and basically play into the cards of fate and causality. I think that would be the ultimate good guy, bad guy thing in One Piece. It would perfectly symbolize the whole struggle of the story. And only by breaking fate and breaking the chain of causality could Luffy become truly free. And I think that really rings true with this One Piece calendar idea. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Great video. Threevil, I don't know if you're still here. I hope you are. I enjoyed this, man. I really did. I thought there was some really cool ideas in here. The planet order things, all really great. But yeah, man, what else can I say? I really like this idea. I just did a whole rant to explain why I like this idea. And you guys basically got a little analysis video out of it. So very nice theory, Threevil. Great stuff. Great stuff. Let's pull up the last, and also everyone who enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out his channel. Make sure to go check out this video. Leave a like, subscribe, check out what else Threevil's got going on. He's got some great videos up on the channel. As a matter of fact, I watched the one that's being recommended right now, and I enjoyed this one too. So go check that out, guys. And without further ado, let's get to the last theory of the day. This is going to be Muglaton's theory about Urouge being the 10th Titanic captain secretly for the Blackbeard Pirates. This is another really interesting idea to me. And we're going to watch this. And I think, let's see how long we've had the stream. It's been an hour and a half. We're approaching dinner time. So what's going to happen is we're going to watch this theory. We're going to see where we're at the end. If we have some time, Marth, I'll pull yours up as well, just as a little cap off to the stream. It's only 4 minutes. And then after that's over, I'm probably going to go grab some food, and then I'm going to be starting a new stream after this one's over. And that one, we're going to be playing some fighting games. Kev Dog's going to pull up to that. The True Toby is probably going to pull up to that, I think. We're gonna play King of Fighters 15 on stream and just hang out. So enjoy. This is going to be the last, I guess, like 30 minutes or so of the stream. So let's get through this. Let's get into this video.
Aokiji is not the 10th Titanic captain, and here's why. In Punk Hazard, Caesar makes a deadly gas which he's trying to sell to various people in the underworld through a live feed via transponder snail. 2 of these people are directly connected to Yonko factions, with Pecons and Tamago representing Big Mum, and a person with horns who asks for Jack, representing Kaido.
Yes.
In both of these cases, the people working for Yonko factions set to view this video feed are below the level of Yonko Commander, with obviously Pecons and Tamago, and the unnamed man who asks for Jack likely being a subordinate in Jack's fleet. So what does it say that Kuzan, who we later find out is working for Yonko Blackbeard, was also heavily implied to have been watching this same livestream? Does it not also imply that based on these other 2 examples, that Kuzan is similarly on a level below Yonko Commander? There's also the fact that among the crew, there is shown to be a level of distrust around Kuzan.
That makes sense because they have distrust for him, and you're talking about, I'm not even going to, let him cook. You're getting to it.
While Blackbeard acts like he has no issue with Kuzan in this conversation with Jesus Burgess, we can see from his later actions
I don't play KOF Mizo, I suck ass.
Reason that he likely does suspect Kuzan
well.
of being involved in Sword, which we as the audience also heavily suspect, and for good reason. The reason for kidnapping Kobe, a confirmed member of Sword, therefore, is likely to test Kuzan's loyalty in some way. Blackbeard in this scene is likely just being pragmatic and keeping his cards close to his chest, as Blackbeard is known to do, for the sake of settling a pointless argument with someone who isn't privy to his larger plans. So it's clear that among the other Titanic captains, as well as Blackbeard himself, who can ultimately make the call, that Kuzan isn't trusted, and specifically, that he isn't trusted where someone like Shiryu is, the obvious common denominator being that they both used to work for the world government. If Shiryu, a confirmed Titanic captain...
That's a great point! That's a great point!
...trusted to a level that Kuzan isn't, well, if we translate this lower trust in Kuzan into a solid rank, would it not work out that Kuzan is at a lower rank than Shiryu, i.e., not a Titanic captain? However, none of these things...
This is some of the best rationale for why Kuzan isn't the 10th that I've heard so far. This is great. This is great points. I've never heard the argument that people brought up where both Shiryu and Kuzan worked for the world government at some point, but they distrust Kuzan more than Shiryu.
are really concrete evidence per se. Kuzan could simply just have been watching the live stream despite being a Titanic captain, and just because the Blackbeard pirates trust Shiryu more than Kuzan doesn't mean that Kuzan can't be a Titanic captain. The lower level of trust could be simply made up for with how much of an asset Kuzan practically is to the team. And as for the alliance stuff, it could just be Oda not trying to make it completely obvious that Kuzan has fully joined the Blackbeard pirates, which would in turn lead to way more people guessing early on that Kuzan is the 10th. These things could give us further details as to the nature of Kuzan and the Blackbeard pirates dynamic, or specifically why Kuzan isn't a Titanic captain, but aren't enough to suggest that Kuzan isn't a Titanic captain overall. The main reason why I think Kuzan isn't the 10th is simply the fact that the reveal of the 10th Titanic captain is set up to be just that, a reveal. And what would be the point of a reveal if everybody can easily guess what's behind the curtain, miles away from the reveal actually happening? Kuzan was...
What? You can't be down talking your video, man. This is great so far. These are great points, and you're incredibly articulate. Every point, like it's very well worded, very concise.
Said to have left the Marines in Fishman Island in 2011. Then, over the course of then until the end of Dressrosa, which took about 4 years, the mystery behind Kuzan's allegiances was slowly built up until we eventually got the reveal that Kuzan was aligned with Blackbeard, and ever since then Oda has left us in the dark. That is until very recently, where Oda has begun to show us Aokiji working directly for the Blackbeard pirates, alongside other Titanic captains, in ways that are very significant to the plot. This is a plot thread that Oda has been consistently reminding the audience of over the course of about 10 years. And at this point, Kuzan stands as the obvious choice for the 10th Titanic captain for 99% of readers, which is exactly why Kuzan's not going to be the 10th Titanic captain. Oda wants you to think that he is, which means that he probably won't be if he wants to make the reveal of the 10th, a mystery he also introduced roughly a decade ago, at all surprising, at all a reveal. Rather, I think Kuzan is simply a massive red herring, and what is the point of any red herring in a story if not to distract the audience from the real deal? By having something flashy and in your face, you don't notice anything else, and now, Oda can get away with being a lot more blatant with the foreshadowing for the real 10th Titanic captain, now that he knows he's got your attention elsewhere. So, who is the real 10th Titanic captain? Well, what do we actually know about the 10th? Next to nothing. However, we can work out a few things. For instance, when he joined Blackbeard. Blackbeard in 956, which is the last time we saw him in the pre-time skip, had himself and 9 crewmates, which would later all go on to be Titanic captains. So he didn't have his 10th here, as there simply isn't another person on his crew by this point that it could possibly be. We know that by the time of Dressrosa, which was barely a couple days after the post-time skip, Blackbeard had 10 Titanic captains, meaning he got his 10th Titanic captain after this scene, which was right before the time skip, and before this scene, which was right after. So essentially, we know that he got his 10th Titanic captain during the 2-year time skip.
Yes.
Now, what are the two things we know Blackbeard was involved in any capacity during the 2-year time skip where he would have got his 10th? The Rocky Port incident and the Payback War. Therefore, it stands to reason that he recruited his 10th during one of these two events. However, that's about as far as it goes. Everyone else we know was involved in the Rocky Port incident we have seen since, and can be pretty sure they aren't the 10th Titanic captain. The Payback War has the opposite problem. While we do know that many of the people involved, being the Whitebeard pirates, we don't know a thing about what happened to them after, other than of course Marco, who again, I'm pretty sure isn't. Meaning there literally isn't a thing I could say as to whether they'd be the 10th Titanic captain or not. So we have no information about any characters Blackbeard interacted with during the period he recruited his 10th, as we either know nothing about them and so can't make a call either way, or we have learned about them since and they're very unlikely to be the 10th. So is that it? Are we stumped? Do we simply have to wait around to learn more information on who this mysterious 10th commander could possibly be? No, and the reason is that there is actually one more event Blackbeard was involved in between these two scenes, that we the audience were shown firsthand, and that if Oda allowed to play out for just a few moments more, would almost have undoubtedly revealed the moment Blackbeard and his soon-to-be 10th Titanic captain first met, and it occurs right after this one. You see, while this may be the last we the audience see of Blackbeard in the pre-time skip, I don't believe it's his last scene chronologically. So, to give a quick recap, in this scene at the start of chapter 595, Blackbeard has captured Bonnie and is trying to trade her with the world government for a ship, after theirs broke shortly after entering the New World. After seeing just one navy ship coming towards them with a Kainu on it, they realise the world government likely just plans to capture both of them and so runs away, still without a ship. They obviously managed to escape unscathed, as we see Akainu not bothering to pursue them after this point. However, they must have been able to escape the island somehow. The two questions we're left with after this scene seem to be A, how did Blackbeard escape the island, and B, did he ever end up getting a ship? Right, so now that you're up to date, I want to talk about this scene from the end of chapter 594, which, give or take one or two other pages, comes nearly right before the scene with Blackbeard. Arouge sees an island raining lightning and wonders how to get onto it, when his crew is approached by a small ship with what looks like around a dozen figures who are not revealed, save for one old woman dressed in a cloak, who asks the crew if they would like an umbrella, seemingly offering some form of protection against the lightning rain just like an umbrella would for normal rain. In my opinion, these are the Blackbeard pirates fresh after escaping from Akainu. For starters, we know both Raijin Island and this unnamed island are both some of the first islands one can reach upon entering the New World from Fishman Island, and the fact that Oda intentionally clarified that for both of them means that it's...
That's a really interesting point. Like that's actually confirmed. That's actually confirmed.
Probably important in some way. Maybe so that he can establish that the geography of Blackbeard's crew going from one island to the other on this little boat makes sense because the two islands are so close to each other.
But then that's the thing, where's San Juan Wolf? Where the fuck is this giant... Where's fucking San Juan Wolf? But that's the thing, right? You can even answer that by saying, well, where was he at Marineford? They didn't even notice him until he was right there. And I'd imagine Akainu probably wouldn't have a hard time chasing after them if this giant fucking giant dude was walking around behind their ship in the water. Probably easy to track. So obviously San Juan Wolf has some sort of, he must have some sort of ability or something that makes him hideable or like he can go underwater. I don't know what it is, because he has a devil fruit, so I don't know if he could even do that. Like
each other. Secondly,
there's something to that though. There's something to that. It's not a nail in the coffin for this specific idea, because San Juan Wolf definitely is a big question mark.
Would answer both the questions I mentioned earlier of how Blackbeard's crew got away, as well as if they ever found a boat. The answer being that they did get away on a boat, however the boat was small enough to where it couldn't be clearly seen from the scene in chapter 595, and was also small enough to where they would still definitely be wanting for a bigger ship, as this one can barely fit all of them. And just the fact someone is sailing on such a tiny boat in the New World means it's probably quite temporary, and as such, the people riding it haven't been using it for very long. It also explains why they would be going to Arouge's crew in the first place. Blackbeard's crew are in need of a properly sized ship, and this is the first one they've seen after running from Akainu, considering the two islands are near to each other. They offer an umbrella to Arouge's crew, i.e. a form of protecting themselves from the lightning rain on the island they're eyeing up, so that Arouge can let them onto the ship, to which Blackbeard can then attack them and take their ship, planning to do to one member of the worst generation what he just did to another. And it's also a simple explanation for the other silhouettes around this old woman. There looks to be around 10 or so, the same amount as Blackbeard's crew. They all seem roughly average sized, which would line up with Blackbeard's crew, save for one, which I'll get to in a minute. And it explains why Oda would want to keep them not only in shadow, but also show them from such a distance, as their silhouettes would likely be extremely recognizable to the audience. As for San Juan Wolf, well, we know he has an unnamed paramecia power that allows him to change size, so he's probably just on the ship as well. But then, who is this old woman? Well, I believe it's Katarina Devon. We know Katarina Devon has a power that allows her to transform into people.
That's what I was trying to answer in my head. Like, who the fuck's this old lady?
She's touched, which includes their clothes. However, that excuse could be used to say Katarina Devon is literally anyone, so is there anything else? Well, what little we know about Katarina Devon is that she kills women she considers to be more beautiful than herself. A very similar character archetype to someone like the Evil Queen from Snow White, someone who also disguised themselves as an old woman in a cloak, providing a useful gift to someone on the surface, meanwhile secretly intending their downfall. So, if this is Katarina Devon and these are the Blackbeard pirates, why is that relevant? Well, like I mentioned earlier, it makes this another scene between the two plot points where Blackbeard must have recruited his 10th Titanic captain, and considering it's the only one that Oda has shown so far in any capacity, it may be the most important one for this purpose. So let's stop stalling. You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. I personally believe that Arouge is the 10th Titanic captain, and that this was the moment right before he was recruited. So firstly, let's go over some basic stuff. Firstly, all of the major Blackbeard pirates have an ugly, sleazy, unkempt, or generally pirate-like appearance, and Arouge certainly has that. He's also certainly strong enough. He's a member of the worst generation and has defeated another Yonko commander, which in a power scaling sense roughly puts him on the same level of strength as, say,
Yes.
a Yonko commander, so wouldn't it make sense if he literally is one too?
Is one as
He's also
well.
got the same
Yeah.
kind of impish, twisted personality that Blackbeard and a lot of his commanders have too, so he would fit in character-wise. He is confirmed to have a devil fruit power, which lines up with Law's statement in 1063 that all of Blackbeard's commanders now have devil fruit powers. And speaking of Law said at the start of Punk Hazard that to survive as a pirate in the New World, you either ally yourself with a Yonko or challenge one, and this is true for literally every member of the worst generation that we know about so far, all except for Yarouge. Now, it's true that Arouge has challenged a Yonko crew before when he defeated Charlotte Snap.
Wait, yeah,
However, the
that's a
first time we
great
see him in the
point.
post-time skip, he's been in the New World for 2 years and survived, which means by this point he must have taken one of these two paths. And it's in this very scene where he has a Yonko literally right in front of him and decidedly does nothing to challenge him. Therefore, it's likely that he instead chose the former and allied himself with the Yonko instead. And of the 4 emperors at the time of the scene, Big Mom, Kaido, Shanks and Blackbeard, we have basically cleared him of Big Mom and Kaido, so that only leaves Shanks and Blackbeard with crews yet to be fully explored. And even with Shanks, we know all 10 of his Yonko commanders, and none of them are Arouge, despite the fact he's clearly been positioned
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet, Moog. You didn't have to do that.
Shanks, we know all 10 of his Yonko commanders.
You didn't have to do that, bro. Thank you, man. Plus Mihawk, go watch. Well, that's that's hype. Well, we have a new one. We have a new version of this theory for you guys to go check out. Thank you. That's really cool. That's really cool of you. What was I gonna say? No, this is all making sense to me so far. I like it. The only thing that worries me about Arouge is that it might feel a little bit repetitive now that we know Burgess's fruit is also like a strength stockpiling fruit, which kind of seems very similar to Arouge. It might be even like the better version of Arouge's idea.
And none of them are Arouge, despite the fact he's clearly been
But yeah,
positioned
that's the
as
only thing.
comparable in
That's the
strength
only thing
to
that's like, how would that dynamic look, you know?
Yonko commander. Meanwhile, we have Blackbeard, who has a 10th commander slot mysteriously missing. Does the shoe not fit? There's also the fact that he's seemingly been positioned as subordinate to a larger captain-like figure before in Enel, where I believe he was Enel's 5th priest, that betrayed him and left before the Straw Hats reached Skypiea. For starters, there's the parallel
interesting.
between Enel and Im. Both are propped up as false gods who stand unchallenged in power.
Wait, that's a sick idea. Wait, that's a crazy good idea. The Enel Eam parallels, and Eam has 5 Gorosei, but Enel only had 4. And we know that Enel destroyed Burka, and Arouge is a Birkin. So is he the only other survivor? Like, how did he get out? What's Arouge's story? What's the story with Burka if Enel destroyed it? Was he the 5th, and he dipped?
Apex of their respective seas, can detect the voices of anyone exposing them and
Okay,
can destroy the ground
okay,
they stand
I like
on
it,
in
I
an
like
instant
it.
with a single lightning attack. Im has the Gorosei and Enel has the priests, which act as a rank in between their god and anyone else, who direct orders considered too insignificant for the big one. Yet the parallel, which has been so consistent so far, is bizarrely halted by the fact that Im has 5 Gorosei and Enel has 4. It would be so easy to give them the same number when there's already such a parallel being drawn between them, so you have to wonder why Oda did this. Well, what if there were originally 5 priests of Enel
Damn,
too?
theories
And
are
it's
going
not too
hard
hard to
today.
imagine that there could have once been a subordinate of Enel who later left for whatever reason. Enel is blatantly evil and doesn't work to build a good relationship with any of his subordinates, so someone would clearly have the motivation to leave. Adding to that, Enel himself barely cares at all for even his most trusted subordinates and has no problem killing those who either fail or dissent him, so it wouldn't be out of character for Enel to dispose of a priest. But wait, there's more. The entrance to the upper yard causes travellers to go through a gate where they have to pick one of 4 trials, each of which are carried out by one of Enel's 4 priests. However, if you look closely, there exists a place for a 5th gate to exist, where instead of a gate there's just a rock with what looks like the tops of the other 4 gates. All this is to say, it seems like there was...
That's right. There's 5 digits on the hand, right? And this is like the thumb. Wait, that's such a fucking crazy thing. I never thought I would be thinking about the challenge of the ball in this context again. Wait a second, man.
was once a 5th trial with a 5th priest to go along with it that was then later sunk at a later point. This in turn
You guys
alluding
are so sick. Moog, Threevil, Dodo Pisa. You guys are awesome, man. These are great theories. Today's theories are wild and
to there
wow.
once being a fifth priest with their own trial along with it. So, why was this fifth priest Aruj? Well, for starters, Aruj is from an unnamed sky island. The question is, which sky island was Aruj from? Burka. The one Enel and his forces came from and later wiped out.
He's
8
Birkin
years
because of the
before present
wings.
day.
It's the wings. That's how you know.
We know this because Aruj's curved wings are a shape only found in Enel's forces, save for Enel himself, likely because that's the shape of the wings of the Burka people, where Enel's forces are all from. So the fact that Aruj is from Burka but obviously still alive implies that, as Enel succeeded in wiping every Burkan out save for his own men, Aruj was one of those men, hence him being able to survive the attack. There's also the simple fact that Aruj's crewmates call him a priest, and his crew named the Fallen Monk Pirates could relate to Aruj quote-unquote falling from the graces of God down to the blue sea. Aruj also reacts negatively when he sees a storm of lightning. This is actually one of the 2 times he doesn't smile in the whole series, as it likely reminds him of Enel and specifically the destruction of Burka, as this is the only piece.
I can't believe some of you guys are on this this fifth dimensional thinking where like you're looking at stuff in the story that I feel like no one takes the time to go back and look at, like for theories. When have we seen this connection get made between the Lightning Island and the connection with Enel? Chance says, have a good night, boys. Yo, Chance, I'm assuming you're saying that because you're leaving. Yo, Chance, if you're heading out, have a good rest of your night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the super chat. You're amazing, bro. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Man, this is insane.
Piece of characterization for Aruj we could possibly apply as to his reason for leaving Enel, rather than something random like him failing a mission. I'm just going to assume that this was
I've never heard this before. This is so original. I've never
the reason
like this. I mean, everything today has been insanely original, but like specifically Aruj is like such an untouched topic. It's like a topic that no one talks about.
Aruj left. So the story goes, he was already serving Enel and Burka for a time. Perhaps Enel manipulated his religious nature into believing that Enel was a real god. 8 years ago, Enel destroyed Burka, and Aruj may have stayed with him a little while longer to save his own skin, at least long enough for a trial to be built in his name in Skypiea. But at some point between 8 and 2 years ago, he left after being disgusted with what Enel did to his home. He assumedly left alone, considering none of his crew today have the wings of the Sky People. The point of me giving you this little backstory is because it shows that despite being a captain of his own crew today, Aruj started off in a position much more similar to a Yonko commander, in charge of his own individual army, but still ultimately subservient to a greater captain. So it wouldn't be so surprising if towards the end of his arc, he once again took up that same role, only this time to Blackbeard, who has a consistent thematic around the number 3, most interestingly with the 3 skulls on his flag. Other times we see the motif of the 3 skulls in the series includes Oz and Top Musica from Film Red, both of which are also referred to as the Devil. So the fact that Blackbeard has 3 skulls as part of his flag means that Odo is likening him to the Devil also, and this would create a really cool dynamic should Aruj end up following Blackbeard. Aruj started off as the 5th of God's 5 priests, however after turning away from God he was cast out of heaven, and now as a fallen monk was sent down to the Blue Sea, where after some time he would once again take up the role of a commander under someone else, this time becoming the 10th of Blackbeard's 10 Titanic captains, Blackbeard who was himself linked with the devil, thus completing Aruj's arc as a man who fell from grace, starting his life by serving God and ending it by serving the devil. The final thing I want to talk about is the real-life inspiration for Aruj. Aruj seems to have been inspired by a man called Musashibo Benkei, a Japanese warrior monk from the 12th century, notable for his giant size, who believed against weapons like blades and so fought many samurai.
That's who
he believed to be
Whitebeard's based off of that guy too, and so is the guy that Zoro fought on the bridge in Udon.
Unworthy, taking their blades from them in the process. He himself wielded giant metal poles, which was said to be the only thing that didn't look too small when he wielded them. Linking this back to Aruj, he is obviously also a warrior monk. He's also a giant, he's the tallest of the supernova and also has a devil fruit, which seems to increase his size. Aruj is first introduced in the story by fighting Murder Machine Killer, a man obsessed with his blades. These are all the parallels between Aruj and Benkei that we definitely know exist. However, while Aruj's story may currently be only half complete, Benkei's story is fully complete, and so we can look to the latter half of Benkei's story to predict the latter half of Aruj's. Later in life, Benkei was finally defeated by a legendary warrior named Minamoto Yoshitsune, and from then on Benkei swore loyalty to this man and became a soldier in Yoshitsune's army out of respect. Yoshitsune was later betrayed in battle by members of said army that were close to him, and Benkei was one of the few to stay loyal to Yoshitsune Yoshitsune to the very end, ultimately dying for it. So, if we're continuing to draw a parallel between Benkei and Aruj, the connections go as follows. Aruj, after initially gaining notoriety and after his phase of defeating people for their weapons, was defeated by an even more powerful and notorious fighter, which resulted in Aruj then joining that person's army out of respect, only for people in this more powerful fighter's army to later betray him, with Aruj being one of the few to stick to this person to the end. If we're continuing the parallel with Benkei, then Aruj would be one of the few of Blackbeard's army to stick with him till the end. So why would this be? It isn't likely to be anything Blackbeard himself did to Aruj, as if Blackbeard was the type of person to cultivate genuine loyalty and respect among his crew, then the majority of his crew wouldn't have ended up betraying him in the first place. Rather, it's more likely something to do with Aruj himself. I think Aruj will stick with Blackbeard because of his previous experience with Enel. If Aruj truly was the fifth of Enel's priests that later betrayed him, and Aruj is being set up through the parallel with Yoshitsune to specifically not betray his next leader, then this would form a character arc, where perhaps Aruj on some level feels guilty for betraying his previous leader, and so now that he's been given a second chance in Blackbeard, refuses to do so again. As for Benkei dying, I'm not sure about that, as it is One Piece after all. However, dying in Benkei's story could simply mean being defeated in One Piece, which would result in his will being crushed, etc.
Well, here's the Benkei connection if you really want it. The fact that his whole Devil Fruit ability seems to be the ability to take damage and then turn it into strength ties directly into the way that Benkei died. It's the same way that Whitebeard died. He got hit with a hail of arrows and all this stuff after a long battle, and he died apparently standing up. And that's the same way that Whitebeard died. So, the idea that Benkei was this man who was so powerful he could tank all this damage and still die standing, you know, that's the connection to Aruj, if anything, is in his actual Devil Fruit power is the ability to like tank damage. He could just tank it and stockpile it and turn it into his strength. So yeah, I mean that's valid.
We're still not convinced after all that. Here's a panel of Aruj at Marineford from 572. Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
So we have it from 5.
No way! I forgot about this line. Wait a second. Blackbeard was the key? Make no mistake, he's going to become the Eye of the Storm? Aruj is straight up out here hyping up Blackbeard on panel. He's hyping him up on panel, guys. Can we talk about that? That's a crazy connection. I can't believe you saved that fire right for the last second of the video. Holy shit.
72. Yeah. So we have no information regarding any characters Blackbeard interacted during the interacted with. Fuck me. The answer being that they did get away on a boat.
You bad
No, fuck, please. For he is a member of the Worst Generation and has defeated another younger commander, which in a power scaling set.
Bro, Moog, this is a great theory, man. I like this idea a lot. That was, I gotta be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest. That is, for me, like if my crackpot theory is like for characters that are secretly part of another crew or used to be part of it, you reference the Mihawk thing. This is like just as good as that in my book. I mean, it definitely, Rouge is definitely a more minor character than Mihawk, but it's the nature of this like whole secret like relationship mystery here. It's like the same pretty much. It's like a very similar kind of like Oda-esque setup where he's gonna like throw this big twist at us. That's actually really interesting. It's a very similar I guess I don't know how to describe it. It's like in the similar realm of theory as like the Mihawk red hair pirate. And I love ideas like that. I love the whole like, especially now we had Stussy with the double agent stuff, like having characters be part of different groups than we thought they were originally, and those sort of twists I think are going to be some of the most fun reveals in the final saga. And I could see the Aruj twist happening. Aruj being the 10th makes sense to me. I could see that. What was I going to say? There was something I wanted to say, but I lost it. Fuck. Hold on. What was I going to say? Damn it. Oh, right. Okay, so if Aruj was one of Enel's 5, right? And then he broke off from Enel's 5 priests, and he went against the will of God, and then joined up onto the crew of someone with a D name, the enemy of the gods, so that fall from grace as an angel. If he did that, and we're paralleling him with Eem, and we have five, the Gorosei, 5 elder stars. If that's the case, does that mean that one of the Gorosei might betray Eem? And if that's the case, if that's true, which one is it? Well, let me ask you this. How crazy of a twist would it be if now we have Saturn coming to Egghead Island with Kizaru as an escort? We have all these all these twists and all these shifts in allegiances happening right now in the story. What if the twist is that Saturn gets to the island? Why is he coming here on his own? Like, why did he go out of his way to leave Marijois to come here? What if Saturn gets to the island and then it's a reveal that Saturn is also working against Eem, and Saturn is like the one good celestial dragon, and he's like the Arouge in this relationship? That could be a wild twist if he gets to Egghead and he actually helps Vegapunk or something. I don't know. I'm just saying. If it's any of the Gorosei that could be like a traitor or like a good guy among the Gorosei, maybe it's the guy that we're about to. It's the first one that we got name dropped. Maybe it's the one that we're gonna meet soon. Very very interesting idea. Very interesting idea. If that happens, okay, Moog, if Saturn gets to Egghead Island and it's revealed that he's actually a good guy, I'm going to have to just give this theory to you. I think I'm going to have to just give this theory to you. I'm going to have to just assume that it's correct at that point. Is that true, Moog? Moog says Saturn was the one Gorosei expressing regret at the Ohara Buster call. Can someone pull up I don't remember. What is the chapter of the Ohara Buster call? You can see in that chapter, there's a Gorosei's face that you can see, and he looks like, as the Buster call is ordered, it looks like he's like very upset with the situation. Like he doesn't want it to happen. If this is Saturn, if that's also Saturn by the silhouette, if we can tell, that actually could line up, and there might be setup for that happening. Yo, what's up, Threevil? He says, just got back. What'd I miss? I don't know when you left out. We did watch your theory. I liked it very much. I went on a whole rant at the end of why it makes a lot of sense to me and why I like that theory a lot, because it connects it connects to the real life, like, scientific theory of everything, where scientists are trying to, or in the past, scientists would try and use not a calendar, but like the mathematics behind everything in the world to predict where everything's going, and basically use it to tell the future. That was like a theory, and they've tried to get a theory to explain all the universe, and I think in a lot of ways the Aztec calendar concept that you're referencing can tie into the futuristic technology of the ancient kingdom in that respect, and like the multiple dimensions. I went in a whole thing. It's earlier in the stream, but great video. Love the video. Love the theory, and there's a lot of reasons I like that idea for what the One Piece is. So, but yeah, every theory today has been fire. Every theory has been fire. Marth, because we've had banger after banger today, I'm in a good mood. Toss me a link to your theory in the chat right now, and then we'll just pull it up. You said it was 4 minutes, so we'll cap it off with your 4-minute theory, and then after that, and then we'll put the poll up. We'll do a vote, and we'll vote for the theory of the week or whatever, the theory review. But yeah, man, that's great theories today. Every single theory today has brought some really interesting points to the table. Great perspectives. Some of them on the same topic, but 2 different perspectives that are both very believable in different ways. Obviously, I think it's clear based on my reaction. My favorite of the day was the pole shift theory, just because of how much that like lines up. For me, that just lines up so many of the pieces at once in such a neat, perfect way that it just feels like whenever I have like a theory, whenever theories like come up to me, and you know, oftentimes I'm thinking of the possible rebuttals that people can have, or like the possible ways that you can say like, oh well, this could work, or this couldn't work because of this in the story. But that theory, I really have a lot of trouble coming up with any way to argue against the pole shift idea. That explains pretty much everything about the One Piece world in one fell swoop. So for me, just because of the like how perfect of an answer that is for like the geography and everything, that excited the hell out of me. I love shit like that. I love geography based like theories and things like that. Really cool. So that's my personal vote. But it was close, man. I feel like every single video we watched today had me like mouth agape at some point.
Hey guys.
All right, so Marth sent over his video. So Marth, we're gonna pull up Tainted Marth's video now. Here we go.
Hey guys.
So this is a 4-minute video. We'll see what this one's about. But guys, I would start. I obviously take this into account. We're gonna put this in the poll as well. But I would start thinking about the theories we watched today, because after this one, we're gonna put the poll up. But I would start thinking about what we watched today. Think about which one you're going to give the vote to, because each of these has some banger points. This is not an easy decision as far as I'm concerned. So the first theory was drop the pizzas theory, the ultimate theory about the One Piece treasure. The next one was Threeble's banger, the Gorosei are planets, which makes Imu-sama this. And the third theory was 10 reasons Aruj is Blackbeard's 10th Titanic captain. I don't actually remember if you actually counted up to 10 reasons, Moog, or did that for the just the title, but that's funny. And now we got Tainted Marth's video. I discovered the real traitors on Egghead, One Piece theory. Let's pull it up.
Today I'm gonna have a bit shorter video for you, but nonetheless, it might be spicy.
And then the poll will go up after this. I love the opening, bro. I said this when you first posted one of your earlier videos in the Discord. I like the opening. I really do. I like your style with the just the black background with the orange contrast. I think that'd be really cool. As a recommendation before we continue, Marth, if you are like really going all in on this like YouTube grind, one thing I would recommend, you seem to have some artistic ability. You have a nice little visual style with the black and orange going on. One thing I would recommend, I don't know how you'd be able to do this, but like if there was some way where you could like kind of have like real time, like you're almost like you're drawing on a board and you're using like the orange to kind of like write out what you're talking about. That could be a really unique visual style. Or like maybe you have like, you draw like the One Piece character as like you're talking about the concept. I just wanted to put that out there. An idea that comes to mind with the visual style you got going on. You could do something like that and it would be really unique. I just thought that came to my mind just now. Really cool. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. But I just want to say I like the aesthetic. I also respect the use of an opening.
I saw many theories.
No, everyone roasts me for using an opening.
It is, that being York, and some even still suspecting Atlas as well.
I respect it.
All of the Vegapunks, except Stella and Shaka, are traitors. Okay, listen. I've seen quite some episodes.
Everyone except Stella and Shaka?
To come to this conclusion. In hindsight, I probably should have noticed sooner. Shaka knew, or at least expected, that he was gonna die soon. As we know, he told Dragon about this and asked him to hear him out. Now, why do I think that all but Shaka and Stella are responsible for what's happening? The Seraphim are not listening to their orders.
Yes, let me sub.
Clearly,
Actually.
The Vegapunks all share the same authority. So either some higher authority commanded them to do what they did, or all of the Vegapunks. I say each and every one of the punks except Shaka and Stella made this plan and told the Seraphim to do what they did. That's why they not react to their orders. They know these orders are not for real. The Vegapunks most likely told them to not react to their orders as long as any outsiders are close by. They made the plan and waited for the Seraphim to execute it. The Frontier Dome deactivated. The Vegapunks are acting as if they don't see anything on the cameras, but they must have seen something. How else can a dome deactivate? Pythagoras simply said he sees nothing, and Dilith played along. Stella then separated from
That's
the
actually an
others
interesting
to run
point.
away from Bonnie, and so do all the other punks to make sure that the crew and everyone else gets separated. Now let's look at how they died or got taken out. Shaka tries to stop the Seraphim once, but as they follow the commands of several of the other punks, his authority gets outnumbered. York turns to stone, but we already know now that she just told the Seraphim to do that. Atlas is still alive, luring Robin to the place where Stella and York are.
Oh my god, if all the bad guys this arc are all the Vegapunks, and now if we have everyone split up with different Vegapunks and all of them like betray the groups they're with, that could be a crazy twist actually. That would make the York twist better. Because then it's not that York has like some dumb reason. Only York has some dumb reason. Maybe it's all of the different aspects of Vegapunk's personality have some logical loophole that causes them to go traitor. That could actually be a pretty funny twist. I'd be into that actually.
As she will be the key to their plan. Pythagoras seemingly explodes after he got stomped. Lilith turns to stone. Edison is half destroyed by S-Shark. So, we saw all of them getting taken out or presumably killed. But in my opinion, they all pulled the York.
They all did it.
The reason why I
That'd be
think so
sick.
is that they are all Vegapunks.
Okay,
Of all-
I was roasting the York reveal for being like, I don't know, like a little lame or like what's the big deal of like making, like building up to this twist and then the twist happens and it's just York? If that's the bait and switch, if that's a bait and switch and actually it's not just York, and then the real twist is gonna be from Oda where it's like, no, it's all the Vegapunks. And like, that's the twist. That would actually surprise the shit out of me. I would actually be like, oh, wait a second, that's out of left field. Like, that is excellent bait and switch on Oda's part if York was the bait. If York is the bait here, for the rest of them, I like that. I like
all
that
the
idea.
punks, only Shaka is bound to stay true to Stella. Because he's good. The others are evil, thinking, wisdom, violence, and greed. But
Maybe the Gorosei. Okay, so remember how I'm so sorry to keep cutting you off. This is actually sparking some ideas though, Marth. So remember how I said in my Eam video with the Gorosei being the 5 like clones of Emu or whatever, they're basically like the Vegapunk clones. Well, if you pull out Shaka out of this equation, maybe Shaka the good is like Joy Boy maybe was the good or something, and Joy Boy was like the good separated from the rest of Emu. And the 5 Elder Stars, maybe the 5 Elders are these various personality traits. One of them is evil, one of them is wisdom, another one is greed, another one is the thinker, another one is the violent. And like, maybe we could look at the design of the Gorosei and like find these traits maybe reflected in each through their little designs. Like the Gandhi Gorosei with the glasses, isn't he always doing like a thinking pose? Like, he could be the thinker for all we know. You know? Each of the Gorosei could reflect that part of Eam's personality. And that might be the twist here, is that it's not just greed, it's not just desire. Whoever, if Eam split themselves or whatever, and this whole thing is actually true, maybe it's all these aspects that ended up turning. That's a really cool idea.
they are not only that, they are also Vegapunks, and as that, rational. They calculated the odds for Stella's plan to succeed and rationally decided that Vegapunk's plan is too vague and nothing that can be pulled through with certainty. As rational scientists, of course they followed the way more promising plan of survival by doing something to get back the world government's favor. For example, by delivering Nico Robin. Only Shaka, as he is good, lays more weight on the fact that Stella's plan is for a good cause and there is no other way to follow around it to get to the outcome that Stella wishes. And that's why I say Stella and Shaka knew about the fact that there is a traitor on the island, but not exactly who. And that's why they are taking the risk and playing along with the game to find out who the culprit is. That's why Shaka said he will be dead soon. They knew all along, and I'm certain that Stella and Shaka have a plan that will play out as soon as...
And that's why Shaka couldn't be, maybe that's why Shaka couldn't be open about it, because all of them are potential traitors. Huh.
Know who the traitors are. Thanks for watching, and please tell me what you think.
That's a cool idea. That's a cool idea, Marth. I really like this idea. Guys, if you enjoyed that video, it's a really short one. I like these bite-sized. If you could do more bite-sized videos like this, Marth, and you drop them pretty often, you'll find success, bro. And if you definitely like go with you know, the YouTube grind, and you keep going at it, like definitely I mean, I see the potential here, bro. He's at 61 subscribers right now, guys. We have 160 viewers in the stream. I think that's more than enough people. We could definitely put Marth over his first 100 subs. I mean, I think that was a great first impression, I would say, for a lot of people. I think that's a good video. I like the opening. I like your voice. I like the ideas. I like how short and snappy it is. Guys, let me I'm going to just redrop the link to this in the chat. If you like that, go peep the video. See if we can get him to let's see if we can get Marth to his first 100. That should be it. I think that the theory there is correct. I'm also gonna link it. I'm also gonna link it in the description. Ah, that was great, man. Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff, guys. Really, really good stuff. I definitely noticed, Marth, I definitely noticed the effort that goes in, man. I noticed you've been posting. One thing I love to see is when someone's a student of the game. And I noticed every time, whenever you're in Discord, you're asking very pointed, constructive questions about your YouTube. I noticed the enthusiasm has gone up. You've been very respectful about asking for my advice and just kind of learning from you know, I like to see that you're a student of the game is basically what I noticed, and that's why I enjoyed this. And I also like that you, even though it was last minute, you gave me a really short video to watch. You gave me a 4-minute one instead of, you know, I've had people send me like 40-minute theories, and it's like we only have so much time in the world. But I really I respect the grind, and I appreciate how you went about this. So guys, yeah, definitely check out Marth's channel.
Hey guys,
let's see if we made it. Yeah, he's already at 79. All right, we're getting close. So let's try and get him to that 100 milestone for sure. If you enjoyed it, of course. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's put up the poll. Great, amazing theories today. Theory of the day. All right, let's put these. Pole shift theory, Aztec calendar theory, Rouge, 10th Titanic captain theory, and then what was all Vegapunks. All right, theory of the day. We got 4 choices this time, guys. Marth's very happy. Will of Dreams says, please watch YouTubers Dusk and Dawn video called Laugh Tale is Here. What is Dawn? It's a killer idea, mind-blowing vid, 10 minutes long. Will of Dreams, that sounds interesting. What we'll do, because I already promised, I can't close the door on some people and then last second be like, okay, we'll pull this video up. You know, I got to be fair to everyone. So we're gonna put the cap on the videos for today. But next time we do, you know, I wanna do more theory reviews during break weeks, because I don't think I'm gonna be doing the original break week streams for a little while from now, at least until we move out of this apartment. So I want to have something else to replace the break week streams. And I think I'm going to do theory review, a really concentrated theory review stream dedicated to just that. I want to pick the best theories possible, have people send me the best fire possible. And if you're saying this is mind-blowing, we'll definitely, absolutely, let's get this on the next stream. So next time we do the theory review, I'll put up the post in advance, and then I'll put out like a public thing saying like, what are some theories you guys want me to watch? Make sure to send this to me again at that point in time, and obviously I'll remember once I see the theory. I'll remember, and then we'll put it in the rotation. So I'm totally down. I have to just for today. We're gonna put the cap on the 4 that we watched. Let's see what everyone's saying. I see. Let me pull up the poll on the stream so that people in the VOD, people watching the VOD, can see it. So let me. I'll pull up everything here. Pole shift theory is really cooking. I mean, I love this. I love this theory. I think it's a fantastic theory. So I'm not surprised. I mean, this was such a cook, man. It was such a cook. But I would say if it weren't for the pole shift theory, like if we didn't have this theory here today, it would be an incredibly tight theory review because every single one today was good. We've had theory reviews in the past where like 1 or 2 of them were like mid or not so great. But this one is just banger, like the whole stream. Also, yeah. 5J Sonic says, hey, VOD watchers. Everyone, say hi to the VOD. Say hi to YouTube. Say hi to the VOD watchers right now. X-Laser Shock says, at Hidden, Dusk and Dawn is a native Japanese YouTuber who makes really good and descriptive videos. I am so down. We'll do that next time. We'll definitely do that next time. I'm Chaozu asks, Hidden, what happened to Break Week? A lot of things happened to Break Week. I know Break Week was fun. Really fun time, funny stream. I enjoyed it. I like playing the scumbag lawyer character. I think that's very fun. The thing is with Break Week, in this room, so recently, you know, the channel's been doing well. We've been getting super chats, all that. I funneled all that back into my equipment, right? I wanted to improve the quality of the channel. Now the streams have no lag anymore, right? It's because I used the stream earnings from before to improve my stream setup. What that does, though, is it makes me very nervous now, because before I had a bunch of crap. Like, all the stuff that was in my office before was not really great. I didn't care if anything happened to it. But now if I'm smashing stuff with a hammer in this room, with, like, now I have better equipment here, I have this glass shelf behind me, and it's like, if I take a figure and I smash it with a hammer, all it takes is one piece of that figure that's heavy enough to go in one direction fast enough to completely shatter this back shelf, put a fucking dead pixel or a massive crack in my monitor. So like, and also I'm in an apartment, so I'm worried about noise complaints as well. You know, that shit gets noisy. If I want to change up the method of how we're gonna break the figure, I don't have many options indoors. Like if I want to boil the figure like Odin, I wouldn't be able to do that because that's a fire hazard indoors. I'd need like a backyard. I would need like a backyard to do the like use a blowtorch, or if I wanted to use I had the idea of sticking Sanji in a panini press. You know how bad I want to put Sanji in a fucking panini press and I can't do it because I'm in a fucking apartment building. So yeah, so basically, the scope of Break Week is a little bit too large for what I want right now or what I'm capable of doing right now. But eventually, once we have more space, once I don't have to put the stuff in here at risk, then I'm going to bring the streams back. I promise I will bring back Break Week one day, just not now. Also, mailing out the figures, right? So there was another element with Break Week where if the figure was voted innocent, right, I would donate the figure to someone. The thing is, I don't have a P.O. box, so when I ship things, they either require me to list a return address, which would have to be my own address, or I don't put an address. If I don't put an address, if something happens to the package, I won't know, and neither will the other person, and they won't be able to return it. So that means that the figure I was supposed to mail my fan might not get there, and I'd have no way of knowing. The only way to know would be to list a return address. That way they could track the package. Problem is, I don't want to put my address on stuff that I'm sending people on the internet. So obviously I need a P.O. box. To solve that problem, I need a P.O. box. That costs money as well. So there's like, Break Week is a pretty, it's like a pretty big, to do like charity things or like donating stuff. All that's like all these ideas that were cool with Break Week. It's just like the scope of it's a little bit too big for the channel right now. And I have to, I have to put it on hold. But I love the idea. I do love the idea. So it's not going to disappear. It's just, you know, maybe in 2 years from now, the Hidden Island is going to be in a different place. The stream setup might look a little bit different. The equipment might look a little bit different. And when that happens, then, you know, then we'll bring it back. I'll do the official Break Week return stream. Johan Caravan says, I have a theory on the Gorosei, which corresponds to the 5 coasts of France because the castle of Pangea is inspired by France. In addition, it's called the 5 stars, like the shape of France, like the 5-pointed star, right? Yeah, that's interesting. That's a cool theory. If you have a video on it, definitely something to pull up and you know, throw into the mix for future future theory reviews. No sweat hidden. Thank you, Mizo. Yeah, guys, I do love the idea though. Rest assured, it's not like I got tired of it. Here, let me show you. I'll show you. I have 2 future victims right here. And I haven't done anything with them. I have Yamato. We agreed on Yamato being the next Break Week. So I have Yamato ready to go. This one is in the box. It has not been opened, and it will not be opened until Break Week, the next Break Week. And then I also got Law here. I got this. I won this from a Crane game. So this is actually... I got kind of lucky with this one, but I was like, I got this. I was like, what am I going to do with this? I won it off a Crane game. I was like, you know what? This will just become a future Break Week. So we got the future defendants are here. It's just, you know, we need the means to do it. The next victim waiting for the chopping block. Yeah. So, you know, guys, it'll happen. It'll happen. Okay, so 80 votes. We're gonna call the poll here. I think. I gotta award the theory of the week. Hold on, or the theory of the day. Trophy JPEG. All right. Without further ado, I present the Theory of the Week award to Drop the Pizza. Congratulations. You are the winner of today's theory review. Very nice job. The pole shift theory. Fantastic. It's amazing. It was so good. I lost my mind watching this. Blew my mind. Drop the Pizza. You didn't drop shit. You actually dropped the biggest banger of the year. The only pizza you're dropping is banger pizza. I don't even know if that's real. Is there such a thing as banger pizza? Because you just dropped it. Here's your trophy. Congratulations. It's digital, so this should go overseas. You should be able to grab it from where you're at. W's in the chat for Drop the Pizza. Wow. Gotta get Drop the Pizza on a Conqueror's Clash. That's awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right. Well, that was fun. W Theory, W, Chad emojis. I love it. Great stuff. Pizza emojis. Yes, got to get the pizza emojis in there. Thank you, Johan. Miso goes, how's your Japanese though? Hidden LMA. No, there's no way. I wouldn't be able to do a full Conqueror's Clash with a fluent Japanese speaker. My listening comprehension's pretty good. It's enough to like make out stuff that my wife's talking about all the time, and sometimes she'll talk to me in Japanese and I can pick up on it and I know what she's saying. I can read at elementary level, but that's pretty much it. So all the Japanese knowledge I get are like my basic knowledge and then reinforced pretty much almost majority by my wife's knowledge because she's a native speaker. So I would probably need her. We could do a Conqueror's Clash, but I would need her to translate in real time. I would have to have my wife here to do the real time translation. So that actually, now that I think about it, that is possible. So I'm not going to totally write off the idea. But yeah, guys, great stuff. Great stuff today. I loved it. All right. So what the plan is from now is I'm going to probably get some dinner. We're going to call the stream here. That was a very, very fun theory review. We're going to call the stream and then we're going to be back probably within the next half an hour or so. And then we're going to get a new stream started up, Just Chillin'. It's going to be a Just Chillin' stream. And we're going to pull up King of Fighters, and we're going to play some video games and hang out. And all of you guys that are in the chat currently, you are free to meet us there when that stream goes up and join us. It's just going to be a very basic hangout, just playing some video games. Yeah. So guys, with that all being said, thank you so much for another amazing stream. I would say this is a great way to spend the break week. Congratulations to Drop the Pizza, and thank you to Doro Pizza. Thank you to Threevil. Thank you to Muglaton. Thank you to Tainted Marth. All bunch of homies in this stream today. So thank you guys for making those great videos. They were really entertaining. I would say everyone got a good bit of entertainment today from that. And congratulations to Pizza. So we'll be back. We'll be back later tonight with the fighting game stream. So I'll see you guys then. Everyone, take care. I guess I got to say it, right? I got to say the line. Say the line, Hidden. Say the line. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day, a good night, and a wonderful romance dawn. Take care.